All right.
All right.
All right. You going to start us off, LJ?
And we're back.
I Don't Drink Coffee Podcast, episode 13. I don't think... Oh, you put up... Okay, I got you. I just figured you'd do the 1-3, you know?
Negative.
You just throw up 10 fingers.
10 and then 3.
And then 3. Okay.
That equals 13.
All right.
Yeah, I went to school at Wilburton, so maybe not. But.
Well, we're going to have to start over.
Oh, that hair. And we're back.
All right. Do it again. All right.
And we're back.
I Don't Drink Coffee Podcast, episode 1-3.
Oh, God, dude.
And we have 2 special guests tonight. One visiting, one joining us live from Seattle, Washington. North of Seattle, Washington. We don't care. The whatever city he's in is irrelevant. Flip is back. And then our other special guest, P. Diddy. He runs this city. He's back. Trent Hardaway. You've seen him in various places in McAllister, maybe. I've never seen him. He never invites me to go eat with him. Neither one of these dudes invite me to go eat with him.
He don't eat.
I don't appreciate it. It's sad. It's sad that you guys go eat all the time out and about. And this is why I need you here, Flip, so that I'll have 3 guys that won't invite me out to eat.
Where were we at last week together, El Charo?
Right.
Yeah, it was somewhere where men eat. That's why men eat there.
Oh, men eat there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad.
We try to keep it man stuff. So.
My bad.
Ben never calls me other than lunchtime. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, eating lunch with some friends.
He's hoping you're going to buy.
Yeah.
I know better.
Where are you buying lunch at today?
He knows I'm not going to buy his, and I know he's not going to buy mine. It's never going to happen.
We just got an understanding.
It's never, we figured this out when we were around 15 years old. So anyways, it's we're going to draft, fantasy football draft, here in about 30 minutes. We anticipated, we didn't anticipate this at all, but we wanted to get a podcast in, I don't know, an hour ago. We wanted to start a long time ago, but getting everything ready, getting the Skype ready and the mics and all that ready, and then setting the fantasy football up at the same time because I'm the commissioner of this squad or of this league.
Hair and makeup. Got behind us.
Yep, hair and makeup. I wasn't gonna tell him that part, but
all natural. I'm sorry, it is all natural.
Right. So, anyways, but we're gonna draft in 30 minutes, and we're gonna carry over the podcast to the draft. But we're gonna try to be entertaining at the same time. We're gonna try to keep.
Never gonna work.
That'll be a first.
And it may not work, and if it doesn't work, then you won't see that part. I'll cut that part out. But Flip's in the league. Diddy's in the league. LJ's in the league. Oompa Loompa's in the league. He's going to join us from Florida. He's not going to join us on the podcast, but he's going to be in the draft room, as well as others. There's others out there, too. We got 12 teams this year. Last year we had 10.
All right. Well, all right. In the meantime, then, while we're waiting on the draft to start, can we talk about the things I was wanting to talk about earlier?
After these messages. This laptop.
This laptop brought to you by...
This episode brought to you by Blackline Insurance Group. Visit blacklineinsuranceGroup.com if you need insurance for anything. I can pretty much help you with just about anything you may need help with. Okay.
So we're good? So we can talk about what I want to talk about now?
We can talk about anything you want to talk about.
I'm so excited. Okay. I was wanting to talk about something today that I noticed on my way to work. Okay. And I want to get Flip's opinion. I know Flip can't see me, but I'm sure he can hear me.
And Flip can see any of us, by the way.
Oh, okay. Anyway, all you guys, I'm kind of curious what you guys think about it. But first, I want you to hear me set it up because it's a new thing for me as far as what I noticed today. So I've been working at the same place for a little over a year, and I stop in at this store on the way to work, usually about 3 to 4 days a week in the morning. And there's always the same person. This person works a bunch in this store. Okay. I see this person, like I said, a lot of times a week, as often as I see, more than I see you, Ben. So
that's sad.
I know. And so I got to noticing this morning, it's been over the course of this year, that there's this person that works at this store, and this person is transitioning from a woman to a man. Okay. Now, and this is in our little small town over here. Okay. I mean, I've been watching this. At first, I wasn't for sure what to make of it because I didn't know what was going on.
Do we know this person?
No. I mean, if you go into the store, I guess, but I don't want to call them out necessarily.
This isn't, well, I know that. I didn't want you to. I just want to know if I know this person. And you said it was in our hometown?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
what's our hometown though? I'm from Wolverton.
Well, I mean, this is in McAllister. Okay. I said our little town.
Okay.
Okay. I was thinking you're saying Wolverton.
This is. I don't want to get too specific because I don't want to draw attention to this person. It's more about the situation, not the person so much. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I go in there all the time. Me and this person converse back and forth, just limited. I mean, I'm buying something and going on to work or whatever. But this morning, this person, I don't know what I mean, she's transitioning, so she's been taking hormones because she's starting to get like sideburns and a little bit of facial hair, and her voice is getting deeper. Very obviously a woman when I started out my job where I'm at, but like I said, over the course of the year, I've always noticed, but I really, because this person was speaking to me today, I was like, oh wow, the voice is getting deeper and all this kind of stuff like that. Really nice, really. But the weird thing that I've noticed is, as time's gone on, and I'm going to say she because she started out she. I'm sure she's still downstairs she. As far as I know, I don't know that for sure. You know, I don't have carnal knowledge, but anyway, I've noticed over this course of this year that the closer she gets to being a man, and the more man-like that she is, the more confident that she's becoming in the way that she talks to people, to everybody. Like when I first started going in there, very quiet, would just say, you know, how much ever your stuff was, and then give you your money, or I pay with a card, but ask if I want my receipt and then go on. Well, now I've noticed that the closer this person gets to being a man, she's actually becoming more confident. And I thought that was a weird thing because I've heard about this stuff, but I thought it was a weird, not a weird thing, but kind of an interesting thing. I've had my own opinions about this whole transgender thing that's going on all over America. And the dynamic that I thought was funny is like, in my own head, it's okay that this woman started out a female and is transitioning to be a man in my head. Because I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool because I see her getting more confidence. Like it's like I don't know. It's like a psychological transformation happening because I guess she feels more comfortable as a man. You know what I mean? She's getting where she wants to be or whatever. So I was sitting there thinking about it in my own head. It's okay for like this woman to transition to a man, but for me, it's weird for a man to transition to a woman. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm kind of curious what you guys, do you guys feel that same way? And the reason I like I said, the confidence is what brought my attention to it this morning. I hadn't really, when somebody's going through that, I'm not really that kind of guy. I'm not going to go, oh, this chick's a freak, blah, blah, blah. I don't really think of it that way. I really just kind of stay out of it because it ain't my business.
Right. But
I mean, don't you guys think it's kind of weird? Or do you feel that way? Like that it's weird for it's okay for a chick to go to a dude, but for a dude to go to a chick, it's kind of like, why would you do that?
We're not bigots, Lucas. I don't think.
Right. Right.
No, I'm serious, dude. I mean, what do you think? Not what your political party thinks.
I, as a conservative, do not care. This girl or this female is transitioning to a male. I could not care less.
Right.
Now, I will say at the same time, when there's a man trying to transition to a woman, even stay out of the female bathroom.
Well, yeah.
Stay out of the female bathroom.
But I'm not.
That's
talking
where
about,
I have an issue.
But I'm talking about like where does this mentally? Where does this? Is it because I grew up in the middle of America? Is that why I'm okay with? I'm not okay. It's hard to say okay. I don't really think about it one way or another. I don't. I'm not judging this person that I see every day like, oh my God, this freak.
Right.
But it's more like
no, not at all. I see what you're saying.
But I'm just wondering if anybody else thinks about it as an odd thing for a dude to go to a chick.
I think subliminally, like it's in the back of a guy's head, like, don't you ever trick nobody. Like I could tell a difference, you tell your buddies, like, I could always tell a difference, if someone was transgender, they're not going to trick me. I don't think it's something like that. You're like, you're out trying to trick people or something. I don't know. Something maybe like that. I don't know. Maybe that's why it feels weird or different for some reason.
Well, it's like, okay, what about you, Flip? I mean, I'm kind of curious as to where you're at on this as far as, I mean, do you think it's odd? Is it more odd for a guy to go to a girl than a girl going to a guy as far as gender transition or whatever?
I would say so, yeah. But then I'm also around it a lot more than you guys are, being in Seattle, so I see that stuff every single day.
Right.
I've told you guys stories where I've actually had to work around some of these guys, girls, whatever they want to be labeled. But like,
it's ma'am.
Because like restaurants in Seattle, they can't call you sir or ma'am without getting in trouble, because
right,
that whole incident where the guy's a girl and the girl's a guy and you mislabeled them, they get all pissed off. But like even our bathrooms, they've all been relabeled to intergender bathrooms, stuff like that. As far as I'm concerned, like honestly, it ain't me, so it ain't bothering me.
Right.
But like my wife and my mom, they both have stories where a guy is transitioning into a girl and uses the women's restroom.
Yeah, and how do you feel about that?
Honestly, it's hard for me to say because I don't know this man personally that's transitioning.
Well, it's not. I'm not saying that. What I want to know is how you feel. How does your wife feel? And then how do you feel about this man going to the bathroom with your wife? And I'm not talking about in the sexual way. I'm just saying, how do you feel?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
See, that's where.
I mean, how does it make your wife feel then? Because
she's uncomfortable.
Okay, so if it makes her uncomfortable, wouldn't it make you uncomfortable as well? Right?
Say that again.
If she's uncomfortable, wouldn't that make you uncomfortable as well? Or are you just like, well, you got to deal with it. I don't care,
Not necessarily. I mean, she's pretty smart and can handle herself if she needed to.
Yeah, and I'm more worried. I say worried, but I'm more for the kids, the kids' sake.
Yeah.
I'd rather you just.
I will say, like, it does cross my mind, like, well, what if it's just a sick dude and he's just trying to get in the bathroom?
Right.
And look with all these ladies.
Right. And even if he's not, I don't think it's right for I just don't think it's right. Just go and stay in your lane, bro. I mean, if you're stay out of the female bathroom.
And that's the hard part. That's what I was thinking about today whenever I was, after I left, of course, I'm driving down the highway and it's going through my mind. All these different scenarios are playing out. Not that I'm not for judgment's sake, but just like, okay, it's happening in Seattle, right? Well, it's eventually going to make its way to the middle of America, just like everything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's going to be this point. And it's a funny thing to think about, like, okay, that person individually that I was talking about in the beginning, I really didn't judge that person one way or another. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't even know that, that person. So it's not really it's not going to affect me. But at the same time, you're just like, dude, how are we going to navigate this? Because it's not going away. I mean, I would like to say it's a trend and, or whatever. And, one of these days, blah, 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 but inclusiveness is just getting more so. And I don't mean to not include people, but it's kind of one of those things where you go, I mean, I kind of lean towards science, as far as I think you should, in my own head, I'm thinking, hey, whatever you got, whatever you were born with. I mean, of course, there's people that were born with both and blah, 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 blah. But I'm talking about if it's a clear cut thing, like if you're born a female and you want to be a man or vice versa, I was thinking the thing that makes sense the most to me is, well, that's where you should go. I mean, even if you feel uncomfortable, I guess you'd say if you feel like a woman, but you're in a man's bathroom, we'll go to a stall, or, there's a lot of ways that you can, I guess you could say, negate that problem. But then you're going to have people that are very much in your face, that are transitioning, that are going to want concessions for themselves.
I'm a very tolerant individual, man, but I do not tolerate dudes going to the female bathroom. I just don't.
And the answer is, if you are, transitioning, you should know, like, you can put yourself in an uncomfortable situation going to a bathroom you shouldn't be going to. If society would just have family restrooms like you see at sporting events and stuff like that, just, one right there. And if they took it upon themselves, like, I'm just going to use that, instead of going, well, I feel like I'm getting singled out and having to use that restroom by myself, or having a restroom just for me, for transgender people.
Yeah, I think family restrooms are more.
That's kind of the transition that we're going through here in Seattle. It's like they've relabeled all the public bathrooms as intergender, so it's not saying male or female specific.
So anybody can go into any bathroom at any time?
Yep.
Wow. See, to me, that's I wouldn't say dangerous, but I tend to be a little bit negative about people's intentions, and I don't mean transgender people. I'm talking about people in general. So I mean, dude, that's one of those lines. That's why I was wanting to talk to you guys about it. I was very curious as to where, I mean, I know, Flip, like, you've got a unique perspective because you're out there on the coast, and as we all know, things happen out there first, or whatever, especially when it comes to like social justice and a lot of things like that. I mean, those things are huge on the coast. So I was very curious. And man, it's an interesting thing because, like I said, I mean, let's say 10 years ago, even in this part of the world, you might not have, you might see that in a bigger city like, Oklahoma City or Tulsa or something like that. But we're talking about middle of southeast Oklahoma, out in the hills, sort of. I mean, there's 18,000 people in this town. So it's, it's not even a mediocre sized town, but.
Well, like I was saying, it's perfectly fine to me.
It's 2019.
Yeah,
right?
female transitioning to a man, or a man transitioning to a woman, who cares? I don't care. I don't care.
Just go to your own bathroom.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Ben grew up with a girl, and she transitioned to a man, and known her forever, and I always got along with her as a female and as a male. Just always give, I guess, him, now you would say, a hard time. Joking around about, I'm going to take your woman from you, and when he was still a she, like, no, I'm going to take all the girls. Just fun back and forth. But I don't know. I mean, the easy answer is it's a mental illness. I mean, could be
and that's what I say about like this person. I can't really speak for their mental stability or whatever, because I don't have that kind of conversations to know where they're at. But it definitely is something that, like I said, this is in, I mean, this could be in Red Oak, like a little bitty town not far from here. I mean, this could be where this person is. I mean, it's just a little old gas station, and this dude works, I'm saying, every day. I don't know. There's very few times I've been in this place where this person's not working, so I got, from a work standpoint, they obviously can socially get along, because, I mean, he's always back and forth, as far as, like I said, the closer that the more manly that he's becoming, it's like the more comfortable he's getting, you know what I mean? Which is a good thing. I mean,
So once this woman makes this transition to a dude, is this person allowed in the men's bathroom?
Well, I mean, of course, I'm looking at it like, a man is more powerful than a woman. So if a man's got bad intentions, he could do something negative in the bathroom. Whereas, and that's science, dude. That's not me being sexist.
One of the kids on our football team, his parent was telling me the other day, said that his son, the kid on our football team, went into the bathroom, and a female came in that was transitioning or whatever, and now he won't go in the bathroom.
Really?
So now he's scared to go in the bathroom.
Oh, and see, that sucks to me, because I was all, I come from.
Well, just think about it. If you're a little kid and you're walking out of the bathroom and a woman walks in, and you're 11 years old, 10 years old, you're at that age where you're going to the bathroom by yourself.
Heck no, I see a female walk in the bathroom and be like, yeah.
I was always a little idiot. I'd have been like, woohoo, or something like that, you know. But I get it. You know, not everybody's that way.
Right.
So, I mean,
And here's the deal, though. If a woman is transitioning into a man and goes into a male's bathroom and your kid in there, will that offend you?
Now, well, what now?
If a female
Goes in the kid.
transitions to a man and goes into your bathroom with your son, would that offend you? And would it not if it was vice versa and as a man who transitioned to a female still went to the boys' restroom?
see, it's a slippery slope when you get to. That's what I kept going through it in my head. I've been doing it all day long about where am I with it? You know what I mean? Just like you're saying. I mean, it's like you think your mind's going in one direction with it, like you have an opinion on it,
And then
but
you're
the
like,
more
"Nah."
you mull it over, you're like, damn, it depends on.
Right.
You got all these situations where it's like, that would be all right, but that wouldn't be. You know, and that's why I'm wanting to know what you guys are all thinking about it, because
Well, these first of all, these transitions nowadays are pretty tricky. I mean, like you said, you can get tricked pretty easily. So I've been told. You know.
this person that
I've heard things.
I've heard
the
that.
person I'm talking about, I mean, was very obviously.
Does this person still look like a woman?
No. Well, no, because a lot of the things that would have said woman are man now. I'm talking about she's got like this dude has like.
Well, I'm just saying if
chops,
if you
kinda,
didn't if you didn't know this person beforehand and you walk in, let's say
I think it was a dude.
think it's a dude.
Straight up. Yes. Now, you know, obviously some things like her chest was small to start out with, those kind of things like that. And I don't know
Yeah.
if she deliberately downplayed that in the beginning or whatever, in which I wasn't sitting there oogling her either, you know what I'm saying? But I mean,
Well, yeah, they're going to go away. They're
But-
going to go away.
and I
mean, not
didn't-
completely, but they're going to go away.
well, it was a funny thing because I didn't pay that much attention to her until like in the last, I'd say, couple of months, because she's obviously doing, or he is doing, like hormone therapy or something,
Yeah.
because we're getting facial hair, deeper voice.
Okay,
you know.
so let's since we're already on the subject, let's talk about women or males that are competing against females.
That's silly.
In a female
That's the
sport.
silliest. I don't. It should no more be allowed than it's ridiculous.
But it's the same. But you so it's okay to go in the male bathroom, but it's not okay to compete against. It's kind of like what we were talking about or what you said. You know, you think you're going down one lane, and then you're like, oh well, okay. And then you're like, well, that's maybe it should be okay.
well,
I do not think it should be okay, and a lot of girls in this country don't think it should be okay either.
well, if you to me,
A lot of dudes that are smashing records and smashing the competition, and
Right.
not in the way you're thinking of.
What is the legality on transgender? Like, do
They're
have
allowed
to
to do it.
18?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, the age. You like, is it your kid couldn't come to you and say, "Hey, I identify as a female," and you as a parent go, "Okay, at 14, 15 years old, we'll sign you up to start transitioning to a man."
well, like my son Carter, who's almost 13, there's a couple of kids in his school that are supposedly trying to transition.
I was going to
know?
say, I think
And see that, I don't know. I know the government shouldn't tell you how to live. You know, we're the freest country, but that's something like smoking cigarettes or drinking alcohol. It should be like 18 years old until you got everything figured out. Like we talked about how weird junior high is, everybody going through puberty and growing up. You can't, no kid has everything figured out and knows what they want to be gender-wise at 12, 14, 15 years old.
Well, dude, and you know what, man? And I'll agree with you 100%. But mentally, this is what kind of got me started along those same lines. Mentally, you had to, I wish you could see how this chick was when she started and how she is or he is now that he's being more man-like. It's weird how comfortable that he's becoming. You know what I'm saying?
so. What you're saying is she or he definitely belongs
well,
as a male.
Being one of the bros.
Well, whenever I heard about like, okay, this kid's 14, 15 years old, wanting to become, you know, I don't feel comfortable with my gender, I'm wanting to switch, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's like, dude, you don't know. And I'm 100% with you. You know, there's no way you could know. But, it's almost like my mind starts going to these places like, well, dude, if it made, I know how awkward I felt at 14, 15 especially. Horrible. And I'm thinking, well, dude, what if it makes them more comfortable? You know, it's almost like you got to keep thinking, though, your rights end where someone else's rights begin. So, I mean, you don't want to make people uncomfortable. Of course, in my mind, you don't want a 15-year-old transitioning boy in the bathroom with girls. Because I don't care what gender you want to be at 15 years old. Those hormones are racing for a dude, you know.
But on the same hand, though,
I know from experience.
it's just dangerous. You have a 15-year-old boy transitioning, and you make him keep going to the boys' restroom. That could be about the worst situation.
Right. And that's what I'm saying, man. It's back and forth when you think about it. Because, I mean, mentally, I can see the relaxation starting to happen in this dude's personality. And that's why I never thought about it that way. I was always kind of one way about it. I was always like, if you're a dude, go where the dudes go. If you're a girl, go where the girls go. Come on, man. You know, you're making everybody uncomfortable. You're screwing everything up. And it's almost like the court system, though. You get to where it's like every case is, you know, almost a little bit different. I don't know, man.
You got to take it case by case. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I can't sit here. I've never had someone transgender walk in the restroom with one of my kids. And if I did, I didn't know it.
Right.
I mean, how many times, honestly, we always talk about, you know, being pretty self-aware of your surroundings, you know, active shooters and yada, yada. But there's been times, like, I walked in a restroom and walked out and go, I didn't even notice one person in that restroom, you know, because you don't want to be looking around like
keep
weird.
your head down and get out of there.
Do your business and go out. Honestly, think about it. A woman who transitioned to a man goes in the bathroom with your son. I mean, are you offended, honestly?
I don't think I would like it.
But would you even say?
I don't know
would
about
you even
offended.
Say, would you even say anything?
I don't really. I kind of think of myself as not one to get offended.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think I would. Is it the same thing? Not liking something?
Yeah.
You're horrible about getting offended, by the way.
Not at all.
Horrible about it.
So
Just answer the question. Would you be offended?
I would not be offended.
Yes, you would.
I would not
I
like
can
it.
answer for you.
That's
exactly.
the truth. I wouldn't like it.
Okay, well, you wouldn't like it. What would you do?
Would you go get him and would you take your son and take him out of there and be like, oh God, wait until this is over?
Well, I'm in there, so nothing's going to happen. Know what I mean?
Well, then, so you're good with it.
Yeah.
I didn't say I was good with it. I'm just know that nothing's going to happen to him. But when these dudes are going in these female bathrooms and there's little girls and stuff in there, and it's just I don't like it. I don't like it at all, and I don't care. I don't care who likes it or not. How I feel about it, I don't like it. And if I see somebody go in there and do that, they're not. It's going to be a bad day for them.
So one way it's okay, but the other way is not.
See, that's the thing.
Well, that's what
I was talking about.
I can't go in the I can't go in the female bathroom.
But a man transitioned to a woman
and protect these kids. I can't do that part.
Okay.
I can go in.
A man transitions to a female.
I see what you're saying.
But no, hold on.
Okay.
And he has no hammer no more, none of that business.
Yeah. Right.
And you're going to be offended if he goes in the girls' restroom for what?
See,
well, first of all,
I mean, he ain't attracted to girls no more. I mean, for the most part.
Or some people never. I mean, there's people that say they legitimately are not. You know, that's why they think they're the opposite sex.
I don't know if they've got a hammer or not.
I'm just saying they don't. Say they went full deal, no hammer, no stinger. just.
Well, at that point, how it's going to be hard to see. Don't go in the girls' bathroom if you're a male. Okay,
Yeah.
if you were born a male, don't go in the female bathroom.
Yeah.
And I don't
care. Even if you're a full female with a chest, long hair.
I got a chest.
Okay, I'm just saying though. I mean, like,
I got a real nice chest.
And I don't know. I don't know either. I don't know. I've never been in that situation.
No, I haven't either.
But to me, like,
this
man transitioned to a woman because
he wants to be he wants to be a man.
With the man.
And I get it. I completely get it. Yeah. And, you know, my son's 10 and he does not go in the bathroom without me. And what brought we had a game or a jamboree in Broken Arrow the other day, a couple of weeks ago, and I went in the bathroom. Kaysen needed to use the bathroom, so I go in the bathroom with him, and I look around. There's just a bunch of kids, football kids, running in and out, pads and all that, So I scoped out the place first, and then they're running in and out, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get out of their way, let Kaysen use the bathroom. So I stepped out, right? Well, when Kaysen shut the stall, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about. When Kaysen shut the stall, we have 4 minutes, by the way, until the draft starts. When Kaysen shut the stall got stuck.
Oh, God.
And he could not get out.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a bunch of kids in there trying to help him out, and I'm sitting outside. I'm like, all right, I probably need to go in there. Well, he finally crawled underneath the stall, and he was firing mad at me. I said, dude, you gotta you gotta, make whatever you can do it, get out of there, And he was like, man, I called for you. And I was like, all right. I'm not going to leave you in the bathroom anymore. But there was no dudes running in and out, grown men. But that's really the only time I let him go in the bathroom by himself. That time right there, and look what happened, So I go in there with him,
It ain't hard. Just go to the restroom with your kids.
Right.
Well, like I said, man, I it wasn't to. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, here's a question. So, obviously, none of us have daughters, right?
Yes.
I have a stepdaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have stepdaughters, all three of us. Or we all have daughters.
Do you feel comfortable
We
if
love
you had
them.
to bring your daughter to a male bathroom? Or as your wife bringing your little son to a women's bathroom? Do you guys get uncomfortable with that as well?
I don't bring the girl to the male bathroom.
See, that's the thing about, and that's where I was thinking, where my mindset was coming from, is like, okay, I know that guys.
I'm not taking any little girl into a room where there's dicks hanging out.
And I've seen that before, what he's saying, where people bring their daughter in. I'm like, yeah.
And I mean, as a male going into that bathroom, if I see another male with his daughter in the room, I'm not going to feel comfortable. Even though I'm not going to feel comfortable.
You're gonna go to the stall if there's a stall instead of using the urinal.
That, or I'm going to leave until he leaves and then go back in there. Just so I don't want to make. I'm thinking of the kid. I'm thinking of that kid. And that's the same way with the girls in the bathroom. I'm thinking of those little girls, and they get this big dude walking in, or little dude walking in, and making them feel uncomfortable. And it's something they're never going to forget, and I don't appreciate that.
But real quick for the draft, though, like Flip said, is why is it okay though for your son to go into the girls' restroom with your wife? Like, don't worry at all.
Dude, and that's what I'm saying about.
Well, it just depends on the age.
No, you don't care. I mean, no, I don't. I mean, if my daughter or if my wife takes my son into the women's restroom, I have no worries, fear, nothing. I have no idea why we think like that way as humans, but it should be the same.
Because dudes are, in my mind, more prompted or more likely to be dirty.
I don't know, man. Look at these school teachers these days.
True. Very true.
I just don't trust dudes,
true.
man. Yeah. That's just really what it boils down to.
And you shouldn't.
In the same token, with that being said, it's getting off course here. With these young female teachers that are getting arrested for sleeping with their students, how offended and upset would you be if that was your 16, 17-year-old son?
Yeah. I hate to. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. Because I've got a 17-year-old son.
Yeah, we'll just delete that because I know that's a tough one. We won't put that on the podcast.
Yeah, we need to. I'd like to cover it though.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it in there. You want me to? Why? Let's talk about it.
Are we gonna draft? Because we're 21 seconds away. Okay.
15 seconds away.
Oh,
I have the 11th pick, so I'm not worried about it.
This whole transgender thing, it'll get a lot worse for you guys in the future.
Yeah, that's what that's what it was. That's why it was on my mind, is because I can see it coming.
I don't even look at it as being, when you say worse. Yeah, I don't look at it as being a problem. Just stay out of the bathroom. I don't care.
I like how the bathroom's the biggest issue here. Like,
well, I mean, that's where these kids are, man. That's where you're going to be able to access these kids without their parents, and I don't appreciate it.
You know what the joke was when I played football in high school? Whenever you go into a bathroom, if there's a bunch of dudes in there, of course, there's dudes in a dude's bathroom, and you go, is this where the dicks hang out?
Right. Yeah.
And that's why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why the bathroom's an issue.
Right.
So anyway, transgenders.
Yeah. Do we want to trans into something else?
Well, I noticed that Flip did not get too far into that. He's like, well, it's a little crazy out here, so we're just going to go with what's going on.
Like I said, I see a lot more than you guys do. So,
well, and not to get too far back into it, but I'm sitting here thinking about, how do I say this? Like, it's new here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I realize it's, you've been dealing with it for forever, but for us here, it's. I say it's strange. It's not really strange. I'm not really having that much problem with it. It's not bothering me. It's more of I haven't given enough thought to it, and I realize that now.
I mean, do you think you need to?
What do you mean? Yeah, I mean,
why?
Why?
I mean, let them be them, and we be us, and we all be together.
Well,
I mean, not together.
When it comes to something socially, like I'm going to be able to handle it like a one-on-one person.
Right?
Did you just?
Well, okay.
But I kind of like to be ready for most things if I can be. I mean, there's no way to be ready, but
Well, I mean, what do you got to prepare for though?
but see, I'm a lot more open-minded than you are, so
I don't
it's
see
gonna be
how though.
that,
What do you mean? I wouldn't even brought this up. I wouldn't even brought it up.
I know that's my point. 'Cause
It wouldn't have been a big
You've already
deal to
got your
me.
mind made up about it, though. That's what I'm saying. Is
How so? I don't want them in the bathrooms with the kids.
no, I mean, from a standpoint of like,
I don't want grown dudes in the bathroom with my son without me there. You know what I mean?
If Tom Brady,
So it really has nothing to do
Flip,
with
you're missing this is funny. What was I about to say?
transgender. It really has to do with dudes being in the bathroom with kids.
But if Tom Brady transitioned to a woman right now,
Hmm.
would you still be a big Tom Brady fan?
I'd still make out with him. Yeah,
Okay, that's a lie.
that's the truth.
You would not back Tom Brady, not for 1 second, if he was a transition to a woman. He's like, I'm gonna play football still, but I'm gonna play as a woman. So now you can call me Tanya Brady. Don't act like you would be okay with it. I know you wouldn't. You'd be like, oh my God, did you hear what Tom Brady did?
Well, if you were told that Jerry Jones was going to transition to a woman, what would you say?
I would not be surprised. I'd be like, hey man, he's got a lot of money, he can do whatever he wants.
All right. Well, let's say Dak Prescott wanted to transgender into
Transition?
transition. Yeah. Sorry.
I don't know. I mean, you're gonna have to pick somebody more personal than that because I don't really, I mean, celebrities are like, whatever.
Okay. Your son comes up to you and says,
If my son wanted to transition to a woman,
Mhm.
I would probably say.
and it's easy for you to say what you're going to say right now because you know it's not going to happen.
Well, I'm trying to put myself in that position. I mean, I would probably say something along the lines of, dude, okay.
Let's say your wife leaves you for the transgender dude at the gas station. When you're talking to her about it, would you bring it up like, he's a transgender, he used to be a woman? Or would it be, I can't believe you're leaving me for another dude?
No, I would. I've had my ex-wife dating a guy before we were divorced, and I would think about it the same way I think about.
So you would never bring up the fact that the dude
I'm
was...
very secure in who I am. Okay, so if somebody picks somebody over me, then I know it's their loss. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
And I know that sounds like third grade. Well, it's your loss. But I'm dead serious, dude. I know what I bring to the table. Okay, I know what I am.
What do you bring to the table? Let us know.
A lot of things. Okay, a lot of things that are.
Tell the people. Tell the people what you bring to the table. Tell the people what LJ brings to the table.
Whatever he wants. Okay, I don't.
You know what Benny Klein brings to the table?
I don't want to know.
Whatever they want.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm kidding.
I'm
probably too
I
secure
have nothing.
for a guy. Well, I mean, that's. I think that's a downfall, or I'd say a downfall. I'm okay with.
I bring nothing to the table.
I know this.
Poor me.
That's why I didn't disagree with you.
And see, LJ, this is like a good example of why like me and you think alike, because like I hate insecure people.
Well, yeah, I don't really
Like
understand.
Rammer's lucky. I like him. He's insecure shit.
Yeah, it's his good sense of humor, dude. That's the only thing that saves him. I know what you're saying.
Because I'm insecure.
Yes, you're always worried about your face and always worried about your laugh and all that, dude. No, man. I'm
not worried about it. I just don't want to impose myself on other people.
Oh. Well, that's
Insecurities.
Not at all.
well, it's what
Not at all.
I mean, you
Very insecure.
when you're willing to go out.
I know a good laugh when I hear
Shirt
it.
off. Take your shirt off right now on the camera.
Oh, God. I know a good laugh.
he's not
Exactly.
going to.
Take your shirt off. We all take our shirts off. Let's do it. I'll do it.
What are we taking our shirts off for? We're just proving. I don't care.
We're gonna see how insecure or how secure people are.
If you would have seen me at the water park, that is a man who's secure in himself. Okay, because
No, you said it yourself. You felt a little odd at first taking it off.
well, the only reason I felt odd is because I haven't walked out in the sunshine without a shirt on in like 27 years. You know
Well, the
what I'm
only
saying?
reason why I don't like people hearing my laugh is because my laugh sucks.
Well, let me tell you why Ramber don't want to take his shirt off right now, Flip. And this is dead serious. because there's a bunch of untrimmed hair underneath there that you don't want nobody to see.
That is very true.
And let me tell you something.
That is very true.
Let me tell you something, Flip. Let me tell you what's under there, okay? Because I've seen it whenever it's not been trimmed, and he's got some real pink nipples, okay? And they're in a big old nest of hair, so it looks like some big old pepperonis in somebody's like beard or something like that.
Big old
You know what I mean?
pepperonis. First of all,
Not big old, but I'm saying
I
know.
have very tiny nipples.
I didn't mean
you even
see, this
made
is-
that comment on Facebook one time years ago
about big nipples.
You had the smallest nipples I've ever seen.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't mean big old's like it's a figure of speech. I wasn't meaning it literally.
What's so weird about this is you like zoomed in on my nipples. I guess first time you see them because
I tend to notice nipples no matter who they're on.
really,
Yeah.
for real.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
You want to tell me that you don't look at someone's nipples, even if it's a man? I mean, I don't sit there and longingly stare
I
at them.
do
but I'm
not
just
look
saying,
at other dudes' nipples. No.
I do.
Well, I don't.
What if they got some big nipples? Even if they don't have.
Well,
like
mine are not big.
A lady chest or whatever.
Mine
You
are
know what
not
I'm
big, so why were you zoomed in on mine?
saying? I look at everybody's nipples.
You look at everybody's nipples.
Yes.
Flip, you look at everybody's nipples?
Can't say that I do.
Okay, I'm not saying that I I'm not enamored by them. I don't sit there and stare at them. I don't have a thing about them.
I think you
But I
kind of do,
notice
though.
them. I notice them.
Like-
They're nipples, dude. Imagine if you didn't have any. You know what I'm saying? That's going to get your attention. If somebody doesn't have any nipples, you can be like, what the? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell is this? Who doesn't have nipples?
But what does that got to do with anything that we're talking about?
You were saying I was honed in on your nipples. I'm honed in on it. You're like trying to make yourself feel special. And I'm honed in on everybody's nipples.
I'm not trying to make myself feel special.
You're speaking dyslexic. You're so screwed up you can't even talk.
I'm just wondering how you or why you zone in on dudes' nipples.
No, it's the sheer amount of hair. Okay, Flip, have you ever seen Austin Powers, the Spy Who Shagged Me, the first one? Okay, you know whenever he takes his shirt off and he's got this, like these very visible nipples and this real hairy chest? That's Rammer.
Yep.
That is true.
Rammer has a very hairy chest.
I will not deny that. I have a very hairy body, except my butt. It's not hairy.
That's
I mean,
gross.
a little bit, but it's not bad. It's not like you would think.
Yeah, and see, that's what.
When you look the rest of my body, you're like, oh, that dude's got a real hairy butt, and I don't.
Do you shave your chest whenever you go to the beach?
Hell yes.
Like bald, like you shave it
Yes.
down, bald.
Yes.
Okay. And see, to me, I wouldn't do that. If like I have a bad body, but if I had a good body, I wouldn't shave it bald.
But if you had a lot of hair,
No. Dude, let me tell you who's a good example of somebody that has a lot of body hair that I think, and this
Listen,
is
you
an old
don't-
example, but
you don't want to be out there in the water swimming and the hair's slowing you down. You want to be out there swimming.
are you swimming for your life? I mean, who
No,
cares
but you're
about,
having a good time out there
I
in
have
the
a
water,
giant
man.
belly, and I don't care about the drag it creates in water. Who gives a damn? And I can swim. Okay, for a big man, I got real strong shoulders, and I can swim fast as shit, and for a long time, for real. So anyway,
I'd like to see that, but I don't. I don't get to see it because you don't like the water. You even said that.
yeah, I don't really. No, I'm not too much on it. I
Why
swim
not?
real good.
What's that got to do with anything?
What do you mean?
Why don't you like the water?
I
But
don't
you can
like-
swim real good.
I don't like drying off.
That made no sense, did it?
Right. I don't like the drying off is what I don't like. Okay. If I could get out of the water and not have to dry, like I just air dry, and like if I had time, who has
What?
time to air dry? I hate drying off.
In Oklahoma, you have a lot of time to air dry. You don't
No,
need a lot of time
I'm
to
usually
air
going
dry.
to work. After I take a shower, I'm headed to work, bruh.
I'm talking
So,
about.
no, there ain't
I'm
no
not.
time to air
I'm talking
dry.
about going to the lake and stuff. Why you don't like going to the lake and swimming? Are you scared?
No, I don't know. Because people are there and it's like a big social thing and everybody's drunk and dude, I don't want to go. I'm too old. You know what I'm saying?
Flip, you got sound coming in, bruh.
He goes,
You got TV or something that's coming in.
Just turn that down.
So, anyways, here's my main thing that I was talking about. I don't know how I got started on your nipples exactly, but
For whatever reason, you're very
well, you're being very insecure most of the time.
you observe
That's
a
what we're
lot
saying.
of stuff, and I've noticed that about you. You're very observant,
Very.
and you analyze everything.
Yes.
You're gonna die at a young age, dude. You gotta stop that. Just worry about yourself. Don't worry about what this person's doing and this person's doing and what this person does and how this person is and how big this person's nipples are and how little these person's nipples are. I say you just do you and not worry about all this other stuff that's going on.
Why?
When you meet someone, you're like, oh, so this person.
What's the point of life if you're not paying attention to it? Then what's the point of doing it?
Well, I'm not saying don't pay attention. I'm just saying don't.
Well, that's where it comes from.
Don't put the size of my nipples in your brain so you can talk about them.
I think your
7
nipples,
years later.
Your nipples are actually about the size of those. You can't see these, Flip, but he's got like.
Can you
a
touch
car
your
on his
nipples
shirt.
right now without looking? Can you just
Can I
put?
touch my own?
Yeah. Can you just put both? I mean, talking about right on the money.
Yeah.
Try it out. Let's see.
Why would I do that?
I just want to see you do it.
It seems like
I
a
just
ridiculous-
did it. I just did
You
it.
didn't touch your nipples.
I just did it, and that's where they're at right there.
Flip, I wish you could see this, dude. This is ridiculous. This is like, I'm not doing that because it feels like a setup.
Because you're
now.
insecure.
No, it's too set up now. I feel like I'm like this. You
You just
know
did
what I
it.
mean?
Thank you. Thank you. You think you missed them?
I feel like a.
Think you were off a little bit?
What
or
was that sound that
did
I
you
made
nail it?
anyway?
I don't know. We'll do it again.
I'm like a cartoon geisha girl. You know, I don't know what my problem is, but or geisha or however you say it. But anyway, back to what I was talking about, and just like this lady I was talking about, or this man. Now it's a man. The reason I think sometimes about what people's motivations are, not from a negative standpoint, but I just get curious. You know, I mean. Because that's a hard life, and that's what I was going to say about my son. If my son wanted to transition to a woman, put myself in that position where I would go, all right, man, you know, or person,
Right.
you know, you're choosing a really hard life for yourself, okay? And that's fine if that's what you want to do. I'm good with it, but be prepared for, you know, there's going to be ridicule on some side. There's going to be, you know, I mean, the life of a gay person, not nowadays is not so bad, but I mean, there was a time when I was young that it would be tough. I mean, you're picking. I would. People say that they're you know born gay or whatever, and that's fine. I'm not even necessarily against that thought, but it's like, well, like somebody said, you know, why would I choose this lifestyle? It's the hardest way to live, you know, as far as socially goes and that kind of thing like that. So on that end of it, that's I would advise my kid, like, dude, you know, this is going to be rough. There's going to be some things to go through. I'll stand by you because, I mean, at the end of the day, this is my kid, man.
Right.
I mean, what you going to do? I'm not going to disown him.
And maybe I'm blind, but I
Definitely.
really haven't seen where, even in Southeast Oklahoma, where gay people were not accepted. I mean, when I was a kid, there was a gay man in Wilburton that cut hair, and everybody loved him.
I'm related to him.
Now, dudes probably be like, oh, okay, you know, my wife's going to get her hair cut by whatever. I don't know. But everybody loved the dude. No one had anything against him. I don't think he, and I didn't live his life, so who knows? Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe he did see, you know, people giving him the cold shoulder in public, or you know, whatever, or you know, maybe people sent him hate mail, or I don't know.
Well,
but
part of
it seemed like he was just another regular dude in Wilburton that cut hair, and he happened to be gay.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that you would, I mean, when you think about the man, is it his gayness? Is that one of the first things that comes across your mind about him? I mean, it sounds like it because you were able to go, well, this dude was gay. And that's part of the gay community's problem is like making a big deal out of somebody's sexuality. You know what I mean? It's not like
No one made a big deal
Well,
about
well,
his
there-
sexuality.
in Wilburton, there's a guy that's a straight guy. And, you know, it just so happened that guy worked at the railroad. He was a straight guy. And that's what gay people are getting about. And that's what I think about, too. Trying to be, and I'm not even trying to be modern. It's more just my personality to go, to try to see someone else's, like, viewpoint or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where, like, thinking about this person that I was talking about that worked in that store, it's more putting myself in their place and go, dude, that would be a tough life to lead. You know what I mean? You got to think about, you're a woman, right? And you want to be a man. You feel like you're a man, blah, blah, blah. You start taking hormone therapy. You know you don't have the equipment. You know what I mean? So you're never going to really know what it's like to be a dude. You know, you want to be, and you can get close. But mentally, where this person is now, or from the outside looking in, I don't know him in life, but I'm just saying just my interactions with him. they've changed. And like it was noticeable. Like this morning, I was like, oh my God, dude, this dude's like, all of a sudden, like you can tell he's more relaxed. He's more social.
Good.
And
It sounds like he's
that's
enjoying life more.
And that's what I mean about, I spent half the day sitting there in my head going, well, you know, how hard would it be to know that you feel like you don't belong? And I know that you go, well, I've always been a guy and I feel like a guy. And I'm with that. I'm as what you would call macho as any other dude, you know, that you know. But at the same time, I'm sitting there thinking, well, there's a dude out there in this world that now is a dude that used to be a girl. And that would be tough. And why would you want to do that? You know? I mean, if I was a girl, to me, well, no, I'm not going to say that. But
Now, see, if I was in your position today and I was in that store, maybe when I got out of my truck, I would think, you know what, that'd be a good topic, for the podcast, and let's talk about it. And that'd have been the only thought I would have given it.
Really?
But you've been thinking about and stewing on this all day long.
Yeah.
That's the difference between you and me. I don't really. It's not a bad thing, of course. I'm not saying it's bad how you are. But for me, I just, man, it's in and it's out. I don't really dwell on anything.
Well, see, I'm human. The human condition as a whole is interesting to me, man. I mean, as a person that lives in the world, I sometimes, it's just like a good example is that it would be Flip. You know what I'm saying? Like, he lives in a different part of the country. He deals with, I don't know about, I can't speak for him. Of course, Flip, I don't live where you live and all that kind of thing like that. So I don't mean to talk for you, but I mean, I get interested in like Flip's experience in life versus mine. You know what I'm saying? On a bunch of levels, whether it be ethnicity, whether it be the region that you live in. I mean, those things are interesting to me, man. And I don't, it's hard to say like, one of these days I'm going to die, but this life's interesting to know what Flip, that's one reason why I like talking to him so much is because, okay, there's a lot of similarities between he and I. And we, he's grew up, I'm assuming you said you grew up in Washington, right, Flip? Okay. Yeah. See, and so it's weird to me to think, dude, there is a guy in Washington State. I live in Oklahoma, always have. Now I've got this horrible hick accent, and he doesn't have that. But other than that, there's a ton of similarities between our lives. Be it the way we look at life and that kind of thing like that. Now, as a kid who grew up without the internet and those kind of things like that, when I was young, I would have never known that. I would assume that Flip's experience in life, and it has been, I'm sure, been different. But it's funny how we could live such different lives but come to these same conclusions about how to be and who we are, and you know what I'm saying? That's something that's interesting to me. I mean, that's one reason it's so interesting to talk to Flip. Because I'm like, damn, dude, we're a lot alike. And you wouldn't think that, or I guess from the outside, I always think of people on the coast as being crazy. I mean, I don't mean anything negative about that. Sorry, Flip, but I'm just saying, all the crazy shit you see in America, it always seems like it's happening on the coast. You know what I'm saying? So I would assume, like, if I hadn't talked to Flip as much as I have, I'd be sitting here going, well, if I just walked in this room right now and I go, who you talk to? Oh, this dude from Washington? Oh, he's probably a damn weirdo. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I was a kid, I mean, I'm talking about when I was young, because all I ever heard was the coast, people are crazy on the coasts. I mean, I wouldn't know. But now, is that not interesting to you? I mean, you never think about that? You go, I met this dude on the internet, right? And not in a relationship way. That sounds like, I've been having a relationship with this guy on the internet. But the human condition, dude, it's like, it's crazy that, like I'm older. I'm 10 years older than Flip. But yet we still have these, culturally and all that stuff. We're not that much different,
He eats rice all the time.
I eat rice too.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
all the time.
Oh, well, I don't eat it all the time, but I eat it a lot.
It all the
and
time.
I enjoy it, in whatever form it comes in.
Hey, I have a question for you guys. when you guys first saw my face, because I can put voices to your guys' faces like, oh yeah, that's totally LJ, and that's totally Red.
No, I did not know you were Asian. I said it a long time ago when you were like, "I'm
That's
Asian."
what
I was like, no,
I
he's
didn't
not.
know that either. No, but
Funny thing is, I get that a lot.
yeah, I don't know. Now that I know you, though, I mean, your voice fits you. But I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, like for the longest time,
I thought he was a white dude.
did not know that you were an Asian dude. You know what I mean?
Is that racist to think he was white? Is that racist?
I don't know. I mean, it's stereotypical, so yeah, kind of.
Just trying to judge from his voice, automatically thinking. But all the people we play online with, we try to put a face to the voice.
I don't know.
Right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're gonna automatically get a picture in your head when I hear someone speak. You know, that's why I get interested to see what people look like.
Now that is very interesting to me. Yes, I constantly like Adam that we play online with. He's the one person I have not seen.
Yeah.
And so I have no idea what he looks like, but I have this image in my head of what he looks like.
Have you
know?
seen Country before?
No, I haven't seen Country either. No.
See, I'm very interested to see Country. I've got
but
this
they've
big
just-
picture built in my head.
Yeah, but he's been described to me,
Oh,
so
okay.
I kind of already.
Oh, you know what? I have pictures of all those guys actually.
Really?
Yeah, because Country goes on these little episodes where he gets drunk and starts messaging everybody.
Oh, okay.
And,
You have a picture of Adam too?
No, I'm just talking about Country. So
Oh.
Country, he
Send us a
I don't
picture
know
of him
with his
then.
law enforcement, whatever he does, but he's not allowed to have social media.
Oh,
So he's like, you know, I play with you guys enough. I want to see what you guys look like. So everybody sent in their photos. So like, both the Swicks, I don't know if you guys know them, War,
Yeah, oh yeah.
I've
Yeah.
never seen War either.
I've seen more.
all these guys. You have to show pictures of each other. And
I've not seen the Swicks. No. J and
Country,
P.
Country, he looks like you would expect him to look.
I need you to send me a picture of him.
He's got a pretty big beard. I don't know if I have them anymore, but it is kind of weird just to think that all these guys we met online and just to make faces with voices.
Yeah, you're playing with him
Kinda
for
weird.
years. I mean, we played with Adam for years, and I've never seen his face.
yeah,
And he's a cop in Georgia.
yeah.
So I'm like, what does this dude look like? You know?
Well, and you know what's funny is just like you were saying a minute ago, Flip. You get that a lot. Like people might think you're a white dude or whatever, but then okay, this company that I work for, there's a guy. He's a Cajun guy from down like South Louisiana, and I talked to him on the phone, but I've never seen him. Still to this day, I mean, I've seen a picture of him finally, but I had talked to him on the phone a bunch when I first got hired. And
You got a completely different
dude, I thought
view
this,
of the dude.
I swear to you, and this, I hope this does. I don't know how this is going to come across. I just got to say it how it came, but like I thought he was a black guy. Mm-hmm. Okay, but he's a very short Japanese man, Japanese descent. You know what I'm saying? But he sounds like he has a very, like, okay, like LeBlanc sounds like. He sounds like a New Yorker compared to this guy.
Yes.
This guy's very
Well, LeBlanc's
very-
always sounded like a New Yorker to me.
Yeah, he says stairs and all that stuff like that.
He
Yeah.
says a lot of New Yorker stuff.
Well, and you
New
know,
York City
You know
stuff.
what I think sucks? You know what really sucks to me about that is
What?
I hate fitting into stereotypes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I know by my voice, everybody's like, "Oh God, this is a big black guy." You know
yeah.
what I mean?
I've been told the same thing. They're like, you probably are. I don't know, heavy set dude from Alabama.
Well,
I don't know if I don't know if anyone's ever said they thought I was heavy set, but
Well, here's a
I
stereotype.
have been told that my picture or my
If I play
social
video
media.
games with somebody that's good, like anybody that's like I would consider
Doesn't
to be
match.
a really good, like say it's Siege, okay, Rainbow Six. If they're really good at it, I assume they're real fat.
really.
Yeah. Yeah, I assume they don't do anything but play video games. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh man, all you do is sit there and play video games. Okay.
You assumed I was fat.
If they're a lot better than me, you know what I'm saying? Which is not hard to do. But yeah, so most people in my mind are fat. You know what I mean? That I play with or against or whatever. If they're really good, I'm like, oh well, that guy's a fat guy. I just write it off. And see, I can say that I can blow fat people off like that because I'm, considerably overweight, so I can do that. But, anyways, I think back to what we were saying about me overthinking, and I do overthink a lot of stuff.
Do you?
I really do.
You think you do, or you know you do?
I know that I do.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that you knew that about yourself, and I never really thought you thought things.
You should be in
thought,
my head.
Well,
if you think you have to hear a lot
right.
of shit from me, you should hear all the things that rattle around that I don't get to. You know what I mean? I talk enough as it is. You know, there's no way. I mean, I should record it like while I sleep. You know, there's all this shit. Get it out of my brain. But.
Do you overthink things, Flip? You think things? Do you analyze people?
Not really. You actually, you guys would be pretty surprised because like one-on-one situations, like stuff like this, like I'll be perfectly fine. But like you put me in a group with like random people, like I wouldn't say a lick to anybody.
Yeah, I get that. See, I'm liable to. It depends on how the situation hits me. Sometimes it'll hit me, and I'm like, I transition no problem, talking to whoever. And then sometimes, if I feel like these people are
don't want you to talk,
yeah,
then I don't talk.
Well, if I feel like somebody thinks that they're maybe better than me or something like that, I won't say a word.
Yeah,
I'll just sit there.
Yeah, and you run into that a lot in McAllister.
Yeah, I'll answer questions, but I don't.
Because a lot of people in McAllister think they're better than everybody.
A lot of them.
Yes.
Yeah, so, but see, let's like flip. If
but some of them, some of them I found out are just as quiet as we are. You know, when we first get around people in a social setting.
The beauty of things like Little League football, for instance, like football dads. I can watch a kid play for a little bit, and I can tell if I would get along with his dad or not.
Really?
Yeah, because that attitude, that
so
mentality
you
transitions.
accused me earlier of being judgmental, and then now everything you've said thus far has been pretty judgmental.
Right, but I get proven wrong. Sometimes I'll have an idea about somebody and it'll be wrong. I stereotype the shit out of everybody that I see.
Everybody.
Yeah, without exception. Hell yeah, I stereotype people bad. They got to break out of it for me. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even necessarily always a negative stereotype. I mean, there's certain things about people, like saying to assume. I'll be this way. I've never assumed that Flip eats a lot of rice. You know what I'm saying? Now I know you automatically assume that because you're that way. But
God, no, he's told me.
But like, I mean, I wouldn't think one way or another on it. Seriously, I would not. I wouldn't look at Flip and go, well, this dude's an Asian dude, so he definitely eats a lot of rice.
No, and I don't think so either. I don't do that.
But one thing that I would do is like, if I just from the little bit I've seen like videos of his son playing football, I'll be like, I'll be able to get along with this guy's dad. Because he's out there. This kid's out here busting heads.
Right.
So I'm like. There's a certain amount of that, what would you say, bravado, or I call it like manly, like macho. You pass that on to your kid, I mean, not all kids get it, but I mean, when you see a kid that's that way, like he's out there, and I can tell by Flip's older son that that kid doesn't even think about it. You know what I mean? Like I watch him walk around, and you can tell by just like his body language. That Josiah's his name, right? Your oldest son?
Yeah. Yep.
I can tell by his body language, he's not out when he's on the football field, he's not out there thinking about kicking anybody's ass. He's just playing ball.
That's just what he does.
And that's just his way. Because he doesn't have like real aggressive body language. You know what I mean? Like my younger son walks around like he's about ready to beat somebody's ass all the time. You know what I mean? And that's taking it overboard for mine. But like Josiah seems like a kid that's confident in himself, kind of maybe naturally or whatever, and it transitions on the football field. And you get that from somewhere. You know what I mean? When that personality is there, I'm sure whenever he was 2 years old, if he tripped and fell into something, you were probably like, get up and go on, quit crying, get out of here. And I know I was the same. I was brought up that way from my dad. And so consequently, I kind of done that to my kids. Now, not to say that everybody needs to do that or that's the way or whatever. I'm not putting it on other people, but I recognize it when I see it. So I was not surprised at all just by listening to like Flip, listening to you whenever we were playing video games and stuff, some of the things that would piss you off. And I'm not talking about winning and losing. I'm talking about social interaction when we're playing. I was like, this dude, I get along with this dude.
Well, when I first started playing with him, he's very quiet.
Yeah.
It took a long time to really interact with him because he just would not say much.
Well, probably
At
he
all.
likes it quiet when he's playing. He's probably like, damn, why is
Well,
everybody
Probably.
I mean, it's weird because like that's how I was growing up. Like to this day, like I've only got, I think from high school, I've only talked to the same 3 people from high school my entire life. That's just I don't know. Just I'm real picky about who I hang out with and who I talk to.
That's a good thing.
That's a very good thing. I wish I would have been more picky. You know what I mean? And not that I've always had bad friends, but I mean, I'm just as liable to fall in with the wrong people as the right people, I guess you'd say. I've gotten to know enough people that once I realize they're going to get me in deep shit, then I start kind of shying away from them a little bit. But
I never really like talking about Scotty. I never, because he was that guy we were that guy for each other.
Yeah.
We just got around each other like I've talked about before, and we just had good ideas. We had good ideas, and they
Yeah.
were not good ideas, but we
Right.
thought they were great ideas. It's like Carter saying, "Oh, you wanted to be cool." No, it had nothing to do with. All right, I'm going to do this because it's going to be cool. I'm going to do this because it's a good idea and it sounds fun, and we're going to make this happen.
and see, I was always
And
big
it was a
mixture.
bad idea.
I was a mixture of those things, because some things I did because I thought it'd be funny. You know what I mean? Like stupid shit in class, like when I was in high school.
Well, I don't think I didn't do that stuff too. I didn't.
I was trying to make people laugh because there's certain people that I thought their humor was funny. So I was like, oh, I want to make this dude laugh because he makes me laugh, just like we do.
Right.
I'll say or do shit to make you laugh just to do it. I do it to Flip too. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, this will be funny. If I
Yeah.
say this or whatever. And I'm 42 fucking years old and I still haven't gotten over that. You know what I
No,
mean?
I'm supposed to get over it.
I hope not.
It's supposed to be funny forever.
I hope
Supposed
so.
to keep the same good demeanor that we all have
Well, and that's what, you think about
and personality.
our personality types. Now, there are certain people that have, I've heard it called an old soul. You know what I mean? They're just kind of, and my dad's one of those people. He's been serious my entire life. No fun involved whatsoever. No laughing, what he does laugh at's not funny. You know what I'm saying? And you're just like, what do you, what? But I've never been that person, and I don't know how I turned out that way. I mean, if you really knew my family from both sides, you'd be like, what the hell? How did this
you
dude
get
come
this?
out of this? But okay, Flip, like Rammer's family, you got to know they're funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of, we were talking about this today on the phone, a lot of dynamic personalities. Everybody they're funny like Rammer is, but in their own way. You know how, like, definitely, Ben, you got like a big personality, and a lot of people in your family also do.
But your family, you don't? They don't?
No.
Not
No,
even your
man.
mom?
No.
But your brother does?
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, to me, he and I are so far apart as far as what we think's funny that he's a lot like my parents, dude. He picked up a lot of things from them about what's funny and what, like his beliefs, and I'm not even faulting him for it, but I'm just saying.
What about your aunts and uncles or who? Did your dad have a brother? Your dad
Yeah,
have
he's got a brother. Yeah, he's not funny, no,
What,
at all.
what about
He's
your
just
mom?
like my dad, dude. Now, my mom's mom is pretty funny. She got a good sense of humor.
Really?
She's 90.
That's
Yeah.
where you got it then.
Must be.
That's where you got it.
And nobody else got it. Down through the line, there's nobody I can point to and go, that uncle's funny.
Well,
Or that aunt's funny.
I've met your parents, but no, I've not been around them a bunch.
They're
So
not
that's a
funny.
disclaimer.
They're
I don't.
not.
I
Now-
don't know if they're funny or not.
Now-
I'm just going by what you were saying.
But
But I'm
then-
not judging your family.
Well, but I know I've been around your family, and they have funny things to say. A lot of them do. They all have had funny things at one point or another, So, and like Flip, like you got a pretty good sense of humor because like you don't mind giving people shit, don't mind taking a little bit, joking or whatever. In your family, is that do you feel like you're kind of the same
Were your parents?
Yeah. Were you
funny?
raised that way with that type of humor, or I mean, what was the culture?
Yeah, how
like
were you
growing
raised?
up?
I wanted to get into
It's-
your parents last time we talked on the last last
He
podcast.
goes, "No, I'm good without that shit."
Yeah, it's weird because like my wife would label me as like a introvert.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like when I come home from work, I stay home. Like if I stay in my room, won't do anything. Like family get-togethers, like sometimes we'll go, sometimes I won't. It's weird, like the whole dynamic of it, because it's like when I was growing up, like we did school, sports, home.
Yeah.
That's how we were raised. Like we couldn't stay the night at our cousin's house, couldn't stay the night at a friend's house, we couldn't have friends stay the night.
Really?
It's not that my parents, yeah, it's not that my family, my parents were strict. It's just
That's how
I
it
don't know.
was.
That's just how we were, I guess.
So you never had
Hard
any
to-
friends
hard to
over?
Really describe it. Say it again.
Did you ever have any friends over?
I think,
But not regularly.
growing up, I've only had 2 friends stay the night ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that 2 different times or several different?
Yep, 2 different times.
Just one night for one dude and another night for another dude. That's it.
Yep.
We didn't
2
see. We
times.
didn't do a whole lot of that when I was growing up either, man. I mean, I would go to people's houses, but people didn't come over to my house very often.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, well, number one, my dad kind of sucks. You know what I mean? He don't like kids. He does not like little kids. He doesn't. He doesn't like them. He's
Well,
not
I mean-
good with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I didn't want to. You know, you don't want to bring your kid, your friends home, and my dad be like, "Yo, get outside, shut the hell up and get outside. It's too loud in here." And what you're watching on TV is like whatever dumb shit he wants to watch, some old western or something like that. And you're like, "What about cartoons?" He's like, "Get the hell out of here. Go outside and play." It's all I ever heard. So no, I was like, "No, man, this is lame." So I was like, any opportunity to go somewhere else is like, hell yeah, let's go over here. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad. I make it sound like my dad's like abusive, and he wasn't. I don't mean to say that, but it wasn't a real fun environment. You know what I mean? When you were a young kid, I didn't like. But see, here's another thing, and I want to bring up this point while we're talking about it because this is a good time to bring it up. My wife was telling me about how like American Indians, like Native Americans, and like Asian people are direct descendants. You know what I'm saying? Like because they come from. What did she call it's the is it the Mongoloid genome or whatever it is, and I can see it because like my wife's family is a lot like Flip was talking about just a minute ago. There's not a lot of interaction. Not my wife whenever she was a kid was all
Your
over
wife,
the
Brandy.
place. Yeah. But in her family, like family gatherings and those kind of things like that, people are quiet. You know what I mean? I mean, there might be 25 people get together because they'll have they've kind of made themselves start having these get-togethers or whatever. And there's not a whole lot of, like going to them, you're like, wow, nobody's really saying anything to each other.
25 people, but it only sounds like there's 2
You know?
here.
And I grew up that way, though, because my grandmother was, half Osage. And so I was around her family growing up. That's where my Native American stuff comes from, from her. And so when I was around her family like that, I noticed that culture. And I don't think it gets mistaken for like being stuck up or being, but it's just, they're just quiet by nature.
Just their nature, yeah.
And I find there's similarities whenever I get to know someone like Flip, for instance. He reminds me a lot of, and it's a weird thing, but I can see that's not that hard to imagine, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Is how they could be connected, I guess, genetically down the line or whatever you want to say. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of things that are similar like that, I don't know. That was interesting because no one ever drew that. It's like a known thing now, I guess, or whatever, like social studies and that kind of thing like that. It's a known connection between those. And I was like, damn, I never really thought about it. But now that I think about it, and there's more of that shit that I shouldn't think about so much, but I mean, I do, because I've always been interested in okay, for instance, Asian culture, there's a lot of honor and a lot of things like that. Like when you think about old Asian cultures, you know what I mean? There's a whole lot of thing. When you go into it almost seems like like white people, it was like, you know, you get into this old English, you know, lords and all this other shit that seems almost kind of ridiculous. But these other cultures are more, this is in my head, of course, but they seem more honor based, you know. Like the movie, like The Last Samurai, is it The Last Samurai? Is that the name of that with Tom Cruise?
Mm-hmm.
Flip, you ever seen that movie?
My favorite movie.
Okay, I like it because it shows, it's a good representation in my experience of that culture. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's supposed to take place in the 1800s or whatever, those dudes are very, even though they're quiet, I mean, it's honor based. You know what I mean? It's not just, they're not quiet because they have dignity. You know what I mean? There's dignity in that culture, and that's interesting to me because on the I guess you'd say how would you say this? Like my German side of my family, because I'm evidently German down the line or whatever. There's not a whole lot of dignity in that, you know. And I don't mean to say like, because I don't come from Nazi Germany or anything like that. That's not what I mean. But I'm just saying, I never hear any family stories about. Nobody talks fondly of that side of my bloodline or whatever. But now the American Indian side or the Native American side, it was a huge thing. Like my grandmother, she was half. It was a big thing, even though I'm an eighth, you know, which is basically nothing. You can't even tell by looking at me.
It's a big thing because that's where she came from, was here already.
But that's what I'm saying.
Hard
I mean, she thought enough of it, that her culture thought enough of it to hand it down, so to speak. You know what I mean? Even to us, who she could look at and tell that, you know, there's no longer a physical trace of that anymore. So, but I can see, you know, I wasn't surprised that Flip thinks about things the way that he does. You know what I'm saying? And that sounds stereotypical, but to me, that's a good thing. You know, I mean, if you want to say there's a positive stereotype out there, I guess you'd say, to me, that's a positive thing. When you hand down dignity and honor on some level, you know, because especially in men, of course, my only experiences as a man, so I can't equate it. I'm not real sure where I was headed with this, but it's like,
now you see why he overthinks things.
Well,
or
dude,
that he really does overthink things.
I wish I could say it as fast as I'm thinking it.
And see, for me, like, as you analyzed me when you met me, I guess.
Yeah.
And when I met you, this dude's a funny dude, and he's got a great personality, and it's a lot like mine. I like this dude,
yeah.
And that's where it stopped. Like, that's where I didn't think anything else about it. For you went home and you're like, okay, all right.
Well,
man,
I mean,
he's a funny guy, but why is he funny? Why has he got a big personality? Why does he do this?
Well, like,
I don't do any of that with anybody. I just take people for how they are and go with it.
But see, we're sitting there. Let's say that us three are sitting there playing Rainbow Six, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're sitting there playing video games. Well, now I'm listening to everything you guys are saying.
I know, and I'm not.
But that's why I can't hardly. I play worse when I play with you
and
guys.
You've said it
because we talk all the time.
And you're thinking
and I'm listening
about what
you're saying. I know you guys are sitting there talking frivolous. You know, like Flip will get pissed off.
So we've never even talked about this before,
right? But I'm sitting there analyzing what you're saying.
But you know us,
right?
So why would you analyze what we're saying?
It's still
just let it go. Let's play, bruh.
Get
some kills.
It has something to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Just how you are. Yeah, I get it.
I mean, socially, I'm paying attention all the time, I guess. Now, I'm sitting here thinking about what facial expressions Flip's making whenever, you know, like we played.
I say something stupid.
Well, I mean, even when it was just me and him playing one night and we were playing with a bunch of randoms, I was sitting there thinking about
what he was thinking about, what these randoms were saying, or what his facial expression.
Well, he's not even talking, but I know generally
he's not appreciating what they're saying.
Well, I know he plays with certain characters, and so I want to compliment those because we're on a team, and I'm real big on that kind of shit. Like when there's 5 of us playing who play all the time, if you'll notice, I'm always trying to be a utility of some kind. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about kills as much as that, and that's my weird ass personality of being like a people pleaser. Because I'm like, ooh, let me help you do this. Ooh, let me help you do that.
Well, why do you think I was always Castle? I'm kind of that way too.
Right.
Because I could go roam and try to be the leader, but we've already got too many people trying to be that dude.
Well, and there you go. I'm sitting there going, what can I do? I can't. I suck at these things, so I try not to do those. Like, you know how you can stay put and play, and I can't. You know, I can't. I don't think of the angles quick enough.
Yeah,
and
to explain, Castle on this video game, he basically stays in the room and guarding the room, basically.
Right.
And you got other players that go out and try to get the kills, and it's a shooter game. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, and
you can't stay put because you're I don't know, what would you call it? You just can't stay put. You're like LeBlanc. You can't stay put.
That's true.
And if somebody
I'm
you
not
can
like him at all.
Yes, you are.
Personality wise, but
yeah, you are. He's a funny dude. He's like us. He's got a great personality. He's
but he tends to not. He doesn't really care what Okay, let me put it this way. He's got something he's trying to do in the game, and he's not really that worried about what you're trying to do.
Well, that's true. That is true.
And I'm not that way. I'm the other way.
Yeah, because if somebody's close by, he just takes off.
Right.
Like trying to go kill him. I'm like, dude, just stay where you're at.
But think about
it.
Anyway. And see, I can't help but notice the social aspects of this.
And that's where I stop with LeBlanc. I know what he's going to do, but I don't go to bed thinking, why does he do what he does?
Oh, I've been mad enough at him.
What kind of upbringing did he have? What is his wife nice to him? Is his dogs or did they crap in the rug today and he's mad and he's all that stuff is going through your head. Not me. I'm shallow. I stay in the shallow end at all times. I stay in the shallow end. And I can swim. Don't get me wrong, I can swim.
What's a lot easier that way?
And I'm not talking about water, but I'm just saying I stay in the shallow end. Yes, dude. Your life will be so much simpler.
If I could stop it, I would.
I know.
If I could not do that, it would be great.
Yeah.
Well, and when I'm playing,
I think it's great. It helps me out because when I bring up somebody's name or whatever, you automatically analyze it for me. You know what I mean? Or if we're talking about a situation or whatever, you're great at it. You're fantastic at it. No. So it helps me out a lot because you're like, well, I mean, and you don't think this, but I do listen. I'm just not analyzing, everything that you say, but
Justin,
I do listen to things that you say to me.
Yeah.
Like we'll be talking about whatever, and I'm not like, oh, okay, ding ding, it's going in and going out. I'm listening to what you say, especially your analyzations. It's funny to me, and it's not that I get off phone and think this dude's, it's not funny. I'm just saying it is helpful.
Well,
it's very insightful for me, but I don't overanalyze everything.
I'm real bad,
that makes
though.
Any sense.
It matters to me if somebody tells me, like if somebody says that I suck, right? Like if somebody goes, dude, you suck or whatever. Now, it matters to me who says that. There's some guys I'm all right with and some guys that I'm not, okay? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, well.
I don't mean to hate on Jacko, but for some reason, and he he just, dude, it just grates on me. I don't like him saying that shit to me, you know what I mean? I'm like, you don't know me like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And what's bad is I don't know any of these fucking people,
Well, with Jacko is, he's...
And I don't mean to hate on him.
No, I know that. I know. He's brutally honest,
Yeah.
And so you got to be brutally honest right back to him.
Yeah.
And he's not much of he don't really joke about things. So when he says you suck,
yeah, he
not joking. Means it.
Right.
And so it's hard to take that in a joking manner because he's not joking, you know?
Well, and there are people that we play with, like you or Flip or, you guys know I'm not very good. And I know that you know that, and even like LeBlanc will say shit and it doesn't, I know that he's kind of kidding, but kind of not, you know what I mean? So I can handle that. But whenever somebody goes, when it sounds like they're basing everything on what they know about me on whether or not I'm good at that video game.
Playing video games.
That's when it pisses me off. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, no, I just happen to suck at this. You know, I mean, if I knew you in life, I would be, you know, we'd know who sucks and who don't. But
I think the thing about Jacko is he's young and like it's hard to relate to him.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah, because he kind of likes to hang out with, you know, he'll jump ship from you. You know, he's in here 1 minute, and then the next minute. That's why I deleted him the first time. He's like, "Why'd you delete me?" I was like, "Because we were about to start a game, and you bailed out on me." I was trying to gather up enough people, and I know it sounds stupid to people that don't play, but I was trying to get you and Flip or whoever else on. I was waiting, and he just gets flighty. He's flighty as all get out, so he's just out of there. I was like, well, I'm not going to be friends with that kind of, you know.
Well, and see there again, there's another part of personality that I would, if it weren't for you.
But I straight up told him what he did.
Yeah.
He was like, what? I was like, yeah, because you know I'm brutally honest right back to him. Mm-hmm. He gives me, I give it right back to him twofold.
Well, just like you said, I mean, if it weren't for you, I would not know Flip, right? And I'll tell you why I wouldn't know him. Because on my own, when I play online, I don't talk to anybody. You know, I'm just like Flip was saying a minute ago. I play game after, and I've played a bunch since you guys stopped playing that game. And I'll get MVPs, and people send me friend requests and yada yada, and want me to, you know, keep playing as a team and all that. And I'm like, nope. I just go to the next one. Hell no. And it's kind of like what Flip. That's why I identify with what you were saying a few minutes ago about. You know, being quiet whenever you're in a group of people or whatever. I'm not social in that setting. Mm-hmm. And I don't really know why, man. I really haven't figured that part out about myself. And I shouldn't overthink it, but I do. I wonder sometimes, I'm like, why don't I ever want to play with anybody? I mean, I like playing with the guys that, you know, that I've met through you.
Yes.
There's a bunch of them guys that I'll play with. But on my own, I don't know that I would have ever met anybody.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah, because when people do that, I'm like, hell no. You know, I don't know you, dude. You know.
For me, it's I can tell real quick if I would, you know, want to be friends with them real quick.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, you know, like you got Vince and LeBlanc, they don't like each other. And
it's a neat. I think that's one of the coolest things about.
The great thing for me is I can be friends with all these people.
Yeah.
And some of them can not like this certain person, and I just tell them, man, just take him for who he is, you know, or you know, don't if he's not a real jokingly like type person, and that's kind of Vince. I mean, he likes to joke, but he doesn't like to joke with certain people.
Right.
And LeBlanc is one of them. So I'm like, dude,
shout out Queer Tactical.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
Shout out to Queer Tactical, but that's his Instagram page. Has he posted on it lately? I haven't seen him post on it.
Not on Queer Tactical, but on it. Yeah. I mean, I follow his stories and stuff.
He's a gay guy, and he's a buddy of ours, but he does not get along with him and LeBlanc don't mesh, you know.
Yeah.
And they're like, man, you know, I'm like, hey, just don't mess with him. You know,
and see, this is where I'm sitting here thinking about: is there another time in history?
Buttons.
Is there another time in history that you could say that socially this is possible? I mean, you think about this. Think about just the fact that
Flip stepped out of the camera for a bit.
Yeah, well, I mean that you know people that you don't know, basically. You know, I mean, now I feel like we've gotten to know Flip.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if we met him in person,
for all we know, he's chopping up bodies in his bathroom right now.
Yeah. I mean,
like the person he killed earlier came back to life, and they're like making noises
like,
in the bathroom.
Oh, God, he's crawling out. I gotta go get this guy quiet.
I gotta go kill him.
But to me, see, that's another thing that I think about while we're playing.
Oh, yeah. When I tell people that don't play video games, and I tell them about playing video games, they're like, oh my gosh, do something, you know, manly or whatever. I'm like,
I'll tell stories about Flip or about you.
Get out and do something. Well, go shoot some hogs.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
That's what I'll tell stories about these guys that we've met.
I'd rather not.
And you're just like, and somebody will say, how do you know them?
Right.
You know, because I'll say, well, you know, the other day I was talking to this guy Flip, and he was telling me about something that he might have said some story about
the empty supersonic
or you know, like the nasty photos that he posts of shit that he finds in those ice makers and all that, you know. And I'll be like, this dude that I know, and I say that,
Right.
This dude I know share these pictures, this nasty shit. You better be thinking about what you get from ice maker, you know. And then people say, well, you know, who are you talking about? I'm like, this dude I know, you know. And then I have to say, you can always see that look on their face. I'm like, this guy I play video games with, and they're like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean you know him? I'm like, well, I mean, I've never met the dude, but you know, I mean, I've talked to him. You spend a lot of hours. Think about the hours that we spend, you know, interacting with each other. Hell, that's what I was saying, Flip, while you were gone, is I feel like, I mean, if we met in real life, it wouldn't be that. I mean, we basically know each other.
I think if we drove to McDonald's and he drove up and we were gonna go in, it would be like just another day. I mean, yeah, it'd be. Do you say nice to meet you?
Well, I think it would be like, for me, if I saw Flip in real life, it would be like seeing. It's gonna sound weird, but like a movie star. You're like, holy shit, I've seen this dude on TV, but I've never seen this dude in real life. He really exists. He's a person, you know.
Do you ever run into people in public that stalk you on your Instagram or your Facebook and you don't know it, and then they start telling you, oh, yeah, I've seen this, seen that, and they don't like any of your stuff, but they inadvertently tell you that they're stalking you because they know everything that's going on in your life, and you haven't had any interaction with them in years?
Nah, that didn't happen to me. Really.
It don't?
No, I'm not interesting. You know what I'm saying? People are just like, oh, God.
How do you think you're not interesting? What do you mean?
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, I've never had anybody.
I'm the one that's not interesting. I'm the one that stays in the shallow end, man. You're out there.
Know. For some reason, people don't talk to me about it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't.
I'm just saying, if you ran into somebody
it would be strange
at the gas station,
I'd be like, why are you looking at me?
And they start talking about Gavin and football and all that. And
now I've had that happen.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, yes.
Just normal stuff that you post on
I
your
thought
Instagram.
You meant people going, man, you're looking good. I know I didn't say nothing, but you're looking good on Instagram. I've never had that.
No, I'm not talking about that.
But yes, I've had people say that was a hell of a hit or something like that. And I'm like, oh, God.
Stuff that you didn't even know they watched. You know,
that's weird. I'm not weird. I guess it's kind of just. Yeah, I'm not used to it. Like I said,
it is weird.
I grew up most of my life without any of this shit.
I mean, the least you could do is like something, you know, and then, you know, I don't know. I don't know.
See, the cool thing, this is what I love.
Now, I've gotten accused of not liking stuff. Like, you don't like nothing or whatever, you know, and I'm not talking about anybody. I'm not talking about my wife. I'm just talking about other people that are like, you know, I'm like, dude, I have 1,100 friends on Facebook. I don't see everything.
Jesus.
I know.
Well, see, I'm glad.
I need 4,000 more.
What?
I need my 5,000 limit.
For what?
Because I need 5,000 people to see my posts about this podcast.
What for? You get some kind of money for it or something?
No. Expand.
Oh.
We got to give the people what they want. A lot of people, we need to be known.
Well,
this podcast, not us, but this podcast. I know. And
you know what's funny is we're almost kind of bringing him along. You know what I'm saying? That's what's cool.
Hey, I hate to bail, but I got to get some moving stuff packed up and get ready to go.
This guy's leaving us.
Well, thanks for sitting in on our conversation for a little while.
We didn't get to really. Yeah. We always talk a lot about one thing, and then we're like, man, we didn't talk about anything.
Well, we'll just have to keep having more of them.
I'm saying, move on Friday. So once we get everything settled in, then I'll be free.
Is the next rent? Is it over $2,000?
It will be once utilities are kicked in. Yes.
Oh shit! Wow.
Go move up there, LJ. You like it up there.
I do like it up there. If I could afford it, I'd do it.
$30 tolls.
When I get my kids moved out of the house and I don't have that expense, I could afford to live up there.
Very true.
You.
I think it's great though, this podcast, because it kind of gave some insight on the way you think and your way of thinking.
Well, it's very time consuming.
Because you're not a shallow person like I am.
I wouldn't say you're shallow, dude. I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
I'm just saying I stay in the shallow end, man. I just see if people act a certain way, I just know how they act, and that's just the way it's going to be for me. I don't wonder why.
Well, I'm more of a...
And I'm more forgiving, and I'm more tolerant of people You know, if you have a friend that, you know, acts a certain way all the time or whatever, and you're like, God, it gets on your nerves, you know, a long time ago, it would have, I would have talked about it probably. You know, I probably said something, you know, to other people about this person. But now I'm just like, that's just the way he is, or that's the way she is. It's not a big deal to me. I just take them for how they are.
Well, and that's a good way to be.
And the only way you're going to cross the line is if you are, you know, a serial killer or something like that. You know, then I'm not going to be tolerant of how you are. But if you, it's just the way I am. I just
that's
live and let live. You know.
It's a difference in people, and I don't think it's a bad thing that you know look at things the way you do. You know, I've always been, and I can say I've been this way, dude, since I can remember ever in my life. I spent a lot of time, and it's made things harder. I mean, if I'm being honest, it's made, like, I remember being like 13, 14, 15 years old. Dude, that part of my life was a very hard part of my life.
Because you're constantly analyzing people?
Yeah, dude. I mean, it was I can easily say it's the most insecure part of my life.
Really?
Those years, yeah.
Now, that's the way I am with spending money. You know, I overanalyze everything.
And that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that, yeah.
I don't know, man. Sometimes I'm just like, when you finally make the decision to not buy the $3,000 laptop and you buy the $1,000 laptop and you're sitting there on that $1,000 laptop, you're like, this is just fine. This is
why
just
was I
fine.
wanting the $3,000 one?
You know, why did I? Yeah,
$3,000 one. Excuse me.
yeah. So it's like this is working just fine. Why do you have to have the best of the best? And it's because I don't want to make a purchase and then regret it. You know.
Yeah.
So I want the best of the best. It's not that I'm like, you know what? I want to flash off, you know, a $3,000 laptop. It's not that at all. And I'm only saying that because, you know, I need a laptop, obviously, because these two are, you know, outdated and they're good laptops. They work fine, just not for editing and stuff. So I need a good laptop, and I'm eyeballing a $3,000 freaking laptop. You know, not that I'm gonna go buy it. I'm just eyeballing it.
Well, I'm that way about certain things too. I mean, I can identify with that.
Yeah, but I do research like crazy on it. You don't.
I do on my car. That's the one thing I'll tell you that in this life.
So you see.
Dude, I'm real bad about it.
Really?
But now I don't wait it out too long. You know what I mean? Like you really do a good job of compare and contrast. And I'm like, okay, like when I picked brakes for my car, I went, okay, what's the best brakes that I can find, you know, that everybody talks about in this industry. So I start Googling it, looking at brakes, and there was Bear and Willwood and a lot of the, you know, race brakes and that kind of thing like that. Well, Willwood's what I kept coming across. You know, I'm like, dude, everywhere I go, these classic cars and stuff have Willwood brakes. So I go, okay, how much? Oh my gosh, you know, you're like, I'm not paying that, but I did. You know what I mean? You know, you could buy $800 brakes for that car easily. I could have left the brakes like they were, and it stops fine. But no. I bought $2,000 brakes for my car, you know, and it's not so that I can go see my brakes that I got, you know what I mean? But it's like, for some reason, I'm building this car and I want it to be the best car it can be.
Right.
You know, and I kind of, not that I want it to be a secret, but I want it to be like somebody look at it and go, ooh. But in real life, it's awesome. You know what I mean? It's like got all these components in it that are top of the line, so to speak. And you know, and I've cut some corners, but that's where I can relate. Now you do it with everything, but I just tend to do it with my car. You know,
right? Well, see, these laptops. This is a 2011 model, I think. No, 2011, 2012. So you know, it's 2019. I've went 7 years with these babies. I've made a lot of money off of them. And they're still working great, but you know their internals are just not built for today's video and audio editing. You know, so and that's the way I look at it. If I spend this $3,000 on this laptop and it's kind of future proof, in a way, you know, until 12K comes out, you know, but it'll edit 4K, it'll edit 8K, but it's future proof. So I will be good with this laptop for another 7, 8 years. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't think it that far through. I should. There's a lot of things I should think through on that side of things that I don't. Because for technology, it always just seems like there's never going to be a good time.
No, it's not.
Always going to be
As
something.
soon as you buy it, it's outdated. It's outdated the
just
next
like
month.
my phone, which it looks like hell right now. But I mean,
Well, it is because it's an iPhone. It's terrible.
Well, it was the 10. Whenever I got it, it was new. It just came out, and facial recognition, yay, and all that stuff like that. And I thought that was really cool. But then I wasn't thinking down the road of, well, what about whenever they come out with 11 or the next thing or whatever. I was just like, screw it, I like it, I'm getting it.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I was too. Well, not really, because I had a Note 4. I didn't even get the 5, didn't get the 6. They skipped the 7 because they caught on fire.
Yeah.
And I got the 8. So I dealt with this phone for a while, and it was kind of messing up, the Note 4. It was kind of messing up for a while, and I was like, oh, he was shutting down on me. I was using it to take pictures at work, for my work. So when I was like on a roof or whatever, taking pictures of the roof, it would shut down on me. I would be in hot 105-degree weather, and the phone would overheat and shut down. And I'd have to get off of the roof, go underneath the tree, start it up again, and run back up there real quick. And
oh, that would suck.
Yeah, and take the picture. So it was getting to where, but I've got a Note 8. Now we're on the Note 10. They just come out. This Note 8 is working just like it was brand new. Yeah. Literally, it's not slowed down an ounce. And you couldn't really say that for the old Samsung phones.
Right, I had one that slowed down.
They slowed down. This one, it's completely full. I've got both memory cards, or the memory card and the internal memory are full. Literally, I had to delete a whole bunch of stuff off of them or upload to the cloud or whatever. But it's working just as good. So I'm not going to go buy the Note 10. Yeah. I don't need it. Now, these computers, that's a different story. I don't go, well, because I've I know how to make these things stay, fast or, a decent speed. They do slow down over time. These things have slowed down a little bit, but you just, you got to keep them clean and whatever. But, for the phones, you couldn't really do that. You could master reset them, and it would probably be good for a little while, but they go, it's all part of Samsung and all part of Apple. I mean, they're slowing these things down on purpose, But my phone, it's perfect. So I don't need to go buy the new Note. That's what I was getting at with the computer.
Well, that's where, just like these Apple phones, this is, of course, my first iPhone. And there's a lot of things I don't like. I don't like iTunes. I don't like Apple Music. I don't like Apple TV. I don't like a lot of the things that go along with that, that are like married to it or whatever, derivatives of it or something. But I have to say, over the time that I've had the phone, which has been a year and some change, I'm not real sure how far along I am, but it's the same experience. You know what I mean? And I will say that for it is that it's just as, as fast or whatever you want to say as it was when I got it. And that is kind of cool. The facial recognition thing, I think it worked better when I first got it. I don't think it worked for some reason. Maybe it's the camera or something like that. But when I first got it, I could lay in bed in the dark, and it could see my face. It would open things up, and now it doesn't do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at night it won't. Sometimes if I pick a really bright, if it's like to open an app, if the opening page of it or whatever is bright, like a bright white or something like that, it can see my face.
Well, maybe you need to clean off wherever it's the sensor or whatever it's picking up.
It's that front camera, that front facing camera.
That's what you got to do. But I know this, when I talk to you on the phone, since you've got it, it sucks.
Well, and
you cannot hear what you're saying.
I figured out why.
It sounds like you're
right. And you know what it is, dude? This is what I finally figured out, is the way my face is made. This phone is flat, so when I put it against my face to talk, to hear, it angles away, and you can't hear me. But if I do this, and I can't hardly hear you, and you can hear me talk. No,
it's not that. It sounds like it's muffled. It's not like I can hear you from way far away. It's not that at all. It's like you have it
like something covering it.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. As soon as I go like this, then that goes away.
There's
And
something
that's-
wrong with the phone.
And that's all I do is roll it around and start
That,
talking into it like this.
It doesn't make sense though. I mean,
Well, I'll put it to you this way: when I go to this side of my face, because my head's crooked, because my neck's crooked, it is. It's different. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
My jaw's more pronounced and it dips away faster over here. So you really can't. No one can hear me. If I can hear you on the left side of my face, you're like, I can't hear you at all. I can barely hear that you're talking.
it doesn't sound like
But if I'll roll up here,
it's
like
too far
this,
away. It just sounds like there's something covering it.
But I think it's that the mic has to be angled the right way to pick up.
It's
my
a crappy
voice.
phone. It's a crappy phone, dude.
I don't
You
like
don't
that about it.
you
I'll
don't
give
have
you
these
that.
problems with my phone.
I will give you that. It's definitely a different.
My phone is better than yours.
I don't know if I go that far. Honestly,
You don't know if you go that far.
I honestly
Dude,
don't know where I stand with it.
It's worlds ahead of it.
No,
Yes.
No.
It's a proven fact.
no.
It's not just me saying it. It's a
Now
proven fact.
the camera is just now catching up to, I think, the camera that your phone before that had. I'll give you that.
Oh my gosh.
But
That's sad.
The cameras are different or not as good. That's true. The cameras on that phone are not as good as the camera on your phone.
And you can't hear you on the phone.
That's because
So
I'm
what
telling you,
what about
that's
the
because-
iPhone is better than the Note? Please tell me.
I don't know. I'm not techie
Yeah.
enough to know the
Okay.
difference. I
So-
mean, I just know it worked good. That's all I know for sure.
It works good?
Yeah,
I
mean,
cannot hear you.
when I want to watch YouTube or I want to, the things I do with it, yeah, it works good. Where it's fast, yeah, it works good.
That's what you need to analyze. Okay.
Is what my idea of a good phone is.
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't analyze.
Well, I wanted to try an iPhone. That's why we switched to AT&T. It was right before.
You wanted to try an iPhone because your wife Brandy talked you into it.
No, I wanted to try an iPhone because I wanted to. She was fine with it. She didn't even get an Apple phone for another year after I had mine. That's for real.
You're just trying to stay hip.
No. But I'll tell you what like they have like Apple Music and all that crap in vehicles. Apple's real good about having compatible things like in vehicles and first one thing and another.
So do we. We have it as well. We have Android Auto. It's even better than.
But it's not normally in a vehicle when you buy it.
Yeah, it is nowadays.
Well, but at the time it wasn't. You know what I mean? It would.
You just didn't know about it because you didn't research. See,
But-
I do research that stuff. I do know that stuff. You don't.
Well,
Listen,
I know in
let's
my
stick with this.
truck that
if I
had,
need to know about somebody and I need them analyzed, I'll call you and I'll listen to what you say. But if it comes to technology,
you won't like what I say most of the time. I don't have a whole lot of good things to say about people most generally, but okay.
well, I'm just saying, like, hey man, why is this person acting like this? Then I'll listen to what you say. But before you buy your next phone, you say, hey man, what do you think about this phone?
Well, I'm not completely opposed to going back to an Android phone. I don't really, other than I'm kind of used to this operating
Well,
system
when I put as much money as you did on that phone, and I can't even hear you on it, that's enough for me to never buy another one.
I don't even think about the cost. I mean, who cares what it costs? You got to have it.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying,
I mean,
you didn't pay $25 for a crappy phone.
No, that's
You paid a lot of money for a crappy phone.
Yeah, it's $1,000 phone.
That's what I'm saying.
But I mean, it does what I need it to do.
It does not.
You can hear me whenever I turn it around.
Exactly.
But I mean, your phone's $1,000 phone too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now I do wish it had a bigger screen now because I used to want a smaller phone, but now I kind of wish I had a bigger screen because I stream way more than I ever have.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say
everybody does. Yep.
double what
Yeah.
I ever did before. Like we watched football last night and I streamed it.
Really?
When I watched the OU game, yeah, which is weird to me, dude, because watching football on a TV where there's not going to be commercials, or it's the same commercial. They play like one or two commercials. It's the same. It's weird. It's odd to me because I'm waiting on all these string of commercials every time they take a commercial break. So streaming's
Different
still weird
commercials.
to me. Yeah, because like one commercial break, you might have a Pizza Hut and I don't know, Progressive Home Insurance or something like
Do
that.
you listen to it with your headphones on?
The game?
Yeah.
No. I actually streamed it through my TV last night.
Oh, from your phone?
No. I through Hulu. We watched it on.
Oh, okay. I got you. Got you.
But it's weird because I'm used to watching it like on CBS or something like that, and you got all these commercials and all that crap. And
Yeah.
It wasn't. It's just different. It wasn't better or worse. It was just different. You know, just thinking about the fact that I don't have like a TV provider anymore because I'm used to having DirecTV or one of those and sitting there watching it that way. So it's weird. I'm still getting used to it.
It's fantastic.
It really is good. It's a lot cheaper. Hell of a lot cheaper.
It's good. It's really good.
I like it. Like I've kind of started thinking about one of those Fire Sticks or something like that where I could maybe up my experience a little bit more because we're pretty limited. I mean, we're basically running off of whatever apps come on the TV or, like what's on my phone or something like that. But now that it's becoming, like blackout stuff isn't. At one time, I remember when I first wanted to start streaming games, it was like every time I would try, there was like these blackout things where I couldn't watch it or something was stupid. And hell, half the time, twice I got DirecTV, went and bought DirecTV so I could watch games because of that damn blackout stuff. And now that's not the case. I mean, ESPN apps and that kind of thing like that. Now you can do a bunch of it.
Yeah.
And I, working a lot like I have, if I'm sitting, dude, I watch, of course, YouTube or whatever, like everybody else does. But hell, we've got movies bought on every damn app you can have, Vudu and Hulu and every other damn app you can imagine. We buy movies constantly.
What a time to be alive.
I like it. It's a lot better than whenever I was 12 years old, sitting around going, I just want to go somewhere and play.
I want to go to Craig's Video and get go on Saturday because you can get the Nintendo games for the weekend.
Oh hell yeah! I forgot about that
because they weren't open on Sunday, so you got them for an extra day.
Yeah. Oh, play this. I mean, you talk about binge, dude. You rent the newest game and you were binging on that damn thing. Yeah. Yeah,
big time. Craig's Video, man.
I remember Sega Genesis games more than any of them because my cousin Dwayne who's been a guest on here before, he got a Sega Genesis whenever we were real young, and it was like graphics. I remember the game Altered Beast was one of the games that came with the console when they got it, and I remember him booting it up. We plugged it up to my grandma's TV, started up the game, and I was just like, I was blown away.
Yeah.
By the graphics.
Yes.
And the gameplay, the type of gameplay and all that. I was like, what? Because I'm used to like Super Mario Brothers and you know what I mean? Like 8-pixel guys running around and all that. And then, dude, it was a revolution. So I remember renting, since he had the Sega Genesis, I would go rent Sega games. And I loved it because it was like what 8K is now to me. Like, oh my eyes can't even process it.
Right.
It's so clear, or whatever. And now you look at it and it's like, oh my God. But anyway, yeah, we are living in the good old days as far as I'm concerned. Hell yeah. Is that being bored all the time sucked? That's why I got so much trouble whenever I got out of high school. There's nothing else to do. I mean, if I'd have had social media, I could at least sit around and talk shit from home instead of having
have the trouble come to you instead of you having to go out and look for it.
Yeah. But I love technology. We need to do a whole podcast on technology for real.
Okay.
I would like to do an entire
I'll just show up and listen to what you got to say.
It'll be a bunch of shit. No, we need somebody that's educated or somebody, you know what I mean? I would like to. There's a couple of things. Yeah.
I'm pretty educated in it.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, like,
you just don't like my opinions.
Well, you like brands, and I want somebody that's going to be objective about it.
That's what you think, though, but it's not necessarily true. Lenovo, Asus.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like phones. You don't want to hear about nothing else.
That's not true.
Besides your.
If I were to go buy a new phone tomorrow, I would not go straight in there and buy the Note 10. Even though I know it's probably the best one, I'm still going to research every single one of them.
Yeah, I know that about you, for real.
So I'm not necessarily a brand whore.
Man, yes, you are.
I'm
dude.
not.
You're real bad.
How
about it.
so, though? I don't get it.
Real bad.
If I research the phones out,
What brand of shoes you got on your feet right now?
Nike.
What brand of shoes do you always have on your feet? Nike, without exception. I bet you don't even own any shoes that aren't, unless they're maybe some dress shoes or something like that. No, not one pair. Got any Reeboks?
I don't like Reeboks though.
Got any Under Armour shoes?
I don't like the way they look.
No.
I definitely don't like Under Armour the way they look. I mean, those Under Armour shoes are for 8-year-olds, 7-year-olds.
Just saying.
They look cheesy, man.
I'm just giving you, got any Adidas?
I don't like Adidas either.
And they're pretty much one of the, they're right up there with Nike these days as far as,
I don't like the way they look.
I love.
If I like the way they looked, I would buy a pair.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, Nike, yeah.
Yeah,
I just like the way the Nikes look.
What about vehicles?
What about them?
What brand of vehicle do you like?
Well, I own a Ford, of course.
Do you like any other brands of vehicles?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I
Would
do.
you ever own any
Yes.
besides a Ford?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Ferrari or any of that shit. I'm talking about the majors. You know what I mean? Like Dodge,
I like the Range
Chevy.
Rovers, but I know they're kind of junky.
Dude, I'm talking about like Chevy, Dodge, Ford, Toyota, Nissan.
And Toyota or Lexus LFA.
Well, see, you're getting the luxury brands of these vehicles. I'm talking about blue collar, regular people vehicles.
Do I like them?
I know that answer. No.
No, I don't like them.
Would you own them? No. I know this answer.
No.
Ford is the only one you would own.
I wouldn't own junk. No.
Or Lincoln.
I don't like junk. I would not
See,
buy
exactly.
junk.
Exactly. Thank you for proving my point. You're helping me. I appreciate that.
Am I?
Yes, you're proving my point. It's all
guess.
right, though.
I guess. I don't know. Just because I want to drive the best, own the best.
Everybody's got to be somewhere. So. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, I would like to do that. I'd like to do a podcast on. I would like to get somebody from the marijuana industry that'd be candid about it. That aren't not some jackass. I'm talking about somebody that's seriously involved in the business side of.
What do you mean by not some jackass? You got somebody in mind that?
No, I'm just saying. I mean, there's
like a jackass to you.
No.
Oh.
No, I'm just saying.
Because I don't want to try to find anybody if you think they're a jackass.
Well, I don't want to get somebody that's like illegally trading in marijuana. Like, well, I go down, me and Jim meet up and then I sell him a pound and blah, blah. I'm talking about this new legal, this industry that's going on here. I'm curious about how it works, I mean, it's very interesting.
I'd like to talk to them if they know of any strain that's good for
headaches, strains. I'm telling you, if you'll just go get some good shit and try it out, you're going to be like, oh my God, why didn't I do this?
Nerve damage. That's what it needs to be for. It's not just a regular headache. For me, it's nerve damage now.
Yeah.
Occipital nerve damage or occipital nerve. Yeah.
Well, freaking... You're never going to know until you try it. Research it and try some. But you're not going to try it. And you know what's funny is you'll suffer in silence all your life just so that you can say at the end of this motherfucker that you didn't try any of it.
I never smoked weed, man.
But you don't have to smoke it, dude. That's the thing about it.
I never ate the weed, man.
It makes no sense to me whatsoever.
That's not what it is.
I mean, I get it if you don't want to.
That's not what it is.
Well, I know that you haven't ever drank and all that kind of thing, and I get that and whatever. And that's fine. But I'm talking about something that used to have it still has a stigma attached to it, but I'm talking about something that might potentially.
It does not have a stigma attached to it for me, though.
Not like it used to.
100%, I'm all for it being legal.
I'd say 98.9% of you not trying it is the stigma involved from other people, what they would think if you were partaking in it. The other 1.5% is you not wanting to put that in your body because you've never put any drugs in your body.
It's not that. I don't even like taking medicine, man. I try not to even take medicine unless I have to. I was on that medicine that I was having to take every day. I've stopped. But I've been having a lot of headaches lately, and I think I'm gonna have to get right back on it. And I do not want to.
But think about if you could take something that doesn't damage your liver, like what you're taking, and
Well, what I'm taking is not supposed to be damaging anything.
Your liver has to process everything you put in your body. Okay, your liver filters every substance you put in your body.
Right, but how
So,
much harder is it than other?
Well, marijuana is a very natural. It doesn't have a bunch of compounds put in it, chemical compounds like this medicine you're taking. That's a painkiller or a nerve. It's a painkiller.
It's a painkiller, yeah.
But this stuff's got a lot of. It's a natural. It's a plant. You know what I'm saying? And it could potentially
Solve my problem.
either at least lessen these issues that you're having. You know what I'm saying? It'd be better for you physically than taking a pill that's got a bunch of shit mixed together that eventually makes your nerves not hurt.
Do you get drug tested at your work?
I potentially can. I haven't been.
Is
but
it against your policy to be?
Supposedly, yes.
Well, I mean, you're the one that signed the agreement, right? When you started your paperwork, your new hire paperwork, you signed the whole drug testing.
Yeah.
Didn't read it. You just signed it. Like, oh, who cares?
There wasn't any legal marijuana whenever I signed it. But at the same time, I mean, it's kind of one of those things. It's going to be weird for a while for companies and that kind of thing like that. I mean, because it's not viewed like alcohol is, which I think is kind of.
Well, they don't want you. They don't want you being drunk
right
at work.
But I'm saying
and they don't want you being high at work either.
They don't test me for alcohol at work unless I've had some kind of a wreck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
now they might just randomly test me for marijuana. So it's different.
Yeah,
That's
true.
It's just as easy to test for one as it is the other.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that eventually, there'll come a time whenever it won't be such a big deal. But yeah, right now I could lose my job for it. And I'm not sitting here looking for an excuse to smoke pot by any stretch. I mean, if I wanted to smoke it that bad, I'd do it.
Right.
It's not like it's hard to come by. But from if I had some sort of chronic pain, I would damn sure try. And in your position where you own your own business and that kind of thing like that, where there's no real felt repercussions. I mean, no one's going to go, Ben, are you smoking pot? Are you high? Take this drug test.
Right.
You don't stand a chance of losing once you're legal. You don't stand a chance of losing anything. And like I said, if it was chronic pain, damn right, I'd be looking into it. Because I don't appreciate pain on any level, And I'm not necessarily trying to talk you into it other than I know you suffer from it. You know what I mean? And that sucks. I mean, having migraines and those kind of things like that and the frequency that you have them, you're tougher than me, dude, because I'd be looking for whatever. I mean, I don't want to get on anything just like you. I don't want to get on anything that I would be hooked on, that I'd have to like go to rehab to get over or anything like that. I would try to find something that's not as addictive, But like marijuana, I have partaken in marijuana in my life and never felt the need to like this insatiable need to go smoke more or anything like that or intake anymore. So it's kind of one of those deals where you go, well, I could try it, and if it sucks, then I won't never do it again. I mean, it's literally like a 20-minute wait to go get your card, and then you're on a list. Ooh, I mean, there's your name on a list now. Well, in 2019, this dude was on the marijuana card list, or whatever. But it's just an option that I've heard people have, like nausea and a lot of things like that. It just like kind of alleviates some of those things. That's why they legalized it, because it was like overwhelming the amount of things that were being.
Oh yeah.
Well, and like you said, I mean, there's a stigma attached to it. There's plenty of people out there that go and get their cards so they can just smoke pot and not get in trouble for it. But there's also people out there that get
I said, I don't
relief from it.
Yeah, and I don't care one way or the other. I think they should just legalize it, call it good.
I think it ought to have. I think it should be as readily available as alcohol. Yeah, I mean, I don't see.
And
what are we waiting on?
The same rules apply. If you drive, under the influence or whatever, then all right.
Yeah, I mean, on any level, if it's going to influence your behavior, you know, on a level that's going to it's going to directly affect other people.
Impair your vision or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything else. You want to regulate it on some level, you know. I mean, fuck around. We're supposed to be a civilized society. So.
I agree, man. I agree.
I want to talk about it. I want to have a whole podcast about the industry, and we can have our own conversations about what we think about it. But I mean, I'm curious as to how this all works because I don't know. I honestly, I mean, I've had people, you know, first one person and another tell me, well, that we do this and then they do this, but I'd like to know, you know,
start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, how it all works, how it all comes down. I mean, I know the part about getting your card, being able to partake in it, but the business side of it, everything from, you know, how it's grown, the methods that it can be grown, that kind of stuff's all interesting to me. Just because it's new, you know. I mean, it's not like growing corn or something. I know how that goes. You know, I'm talking about a new industry that's, you know, it's blowing up. I mean, in this area anyway. So, do we need to have some CrossFitters on here at some point too? I'd like to talk about that. I'm curious as to if CrossFit's different than whenever I was messing with it a long time ago. I mean, is there anything?
I don't know.
Anything done?
I haven't been doing it.
Or?
I mean, I've been doing a little bit at home, but that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's the good thing about CrossFit is it's getting bigger, you know. But I think a lot of, I mean, it's just like anything, you know, the basics stay the same, you know.
Well, I would like to know about like diet. You know, I mean, used to paleo was always connected to CrossFit, and you have these different things like that are. I
think with CrossFitters, it's going to be paleo or keto for the most part. But then there's a lot of CrossFitters that just eat healthy, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I don't know. You know,
well, to do that kind of exercise, you got to eat clean. I mean,
yeah, because if you don't, you're going to feel it the next day.
Well, that was one of my. I think that's one of my biggest problems when I was doing it. The hardest thing that I had, the reason why the workouts were so hard on me, it was because of the way I ate.
It's a lot of because I've tested it myself, and you know they even say try to do something on your off days. You know, do something, move a little bit on your off days. Don't just hang around. So I would work out from Monday to Friday, right? Eat healthy, and then Saturday and Sunday probably let go a little bit on the eating and not work out, and then come Monday, it's like it's not, you know, it got to where it wasn't like starting all over again, but Monday was always hard. Yeah. It's because you weren't moving on Sunday and you weren't moving on Saturday, and you ate kind of how you wanted to, and so, you know, come time Monday, it's like, oh, here we go. So I knew, you know, I could tell. A lot of times I could tell that it's like, man, that Monday was, you know, it wasn't like, you know, people were like, oh, dread Monday because of work. But when you go in to work out, you know, you kind of dread it because it's like, this is going to hurt.
Yeah.
You know, this is going to hurt because I haven't been doing anything last couple of days. So just 2 days off can make a big difference.
You know, and that's the mindset behind it. Like you said, to be strict or whatever you want to say, like to be that dedicated to it. That's something that I always had a hard time with too, you know, is that finding that motivation over time, you know, because you would think, well, the results would be motivation enough, but sometimes they're not.
The hardest part is starting.
Yeah.
It really is. It's the hardest part. And then once it's kind of like, I mean, it's kind of like an old vehicle, man, out in the freaking field that you go get and you're wanting to get it going. Hardest part is getting that thing going.
Yeah.
You know, and then once you get it going, you know, I don't even know why I made that reference or analogy, but I'm just saying the hardest part is to get going. And then once you get going and you get your metabolism up and it's really not even seeing results, it's just giving you more energy. I think it's easier to stay with it at that point, but it's still not easy, you know.
Well, that's like, you know, whenever I first started doing it with you and your father-in-law, it was like, it was unknown in this area. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yep. I mean, I'd heard of it, but like not like it is now. You know, it's like a common thing now.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what was kind of cool about it when we first started. Because I didn't know what to expect. You know, I'd never done kettlebells or any of that. You know, I didn't know what any of that stuff was. So, you know, Larry going through those things and like, he always knew what our workouts were going to be. So it was like he would, you know, adapt them or whatever. And it was cool because I had never heard of it before. You know what I mean? I didn't know. It wasn't like the old get out there and you do,
curls,
3 sets of 10 bench press, and
Yeah.
then you do, the old standby stuff, or just go out and run, and that kind of thing like that. It was this neat, like, mixture of a bunch of stuff and a lot of lifts and things that I'd never done.
Mm-hmm.
All those Olympic lifts that they put in them and all that, all that kind of stuff like that. It was something that was like, dude, and it was like, to me, the level that we even though Larry was taking it easy on us, or I know he was taking it easy on me for sure.
He was taking it easy on both of us.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, oh my gosh, I've never worked out on this level. I mean, I've worked out hard lifting weights, and I've went out and ran till I'm about to die and all that stuff like that.
But you're combining the two.
Yeah, it's like it was unlike anything I'd ever done.
And it's different every day.
And it was interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cool because you never knew, because he would just say, okay, we're going to do this, do this, do this. And so you're like, and of course I was always behind. I was big and heavy and lumbering around, all that. But at the same time, I didn't want to stop because it was like, I wonder if I can do this. Oh my gosh, how many pull-ups? I can't even do one pull-up.
Right.
You get out there and struggle, and then you get to where you can. And, and even after I didn't work out with you guys and I was working out with another guy, and we would do some, like a couple days a week, we would do some of the CrossFit stuff that I had done before. So we'd throw in some box jumps and wall balls and things like that. And it was cool because he had never done it before, and he was in pretty good shape. Not great shape, but decent shape. So, pull-ups, first a few odds and ends things, rows and stuff like that, and we put those in those workouts. And he was the same way I was about it. He was like, dude, this is interesting. I mean, and I'm, I didn't have any great endurance, but, you just go, okay, we're going to row 500 meters, and then we're going to go do these box jump, this many box jump, da-da-da. And it was like, by the end of it, you're like, oh my God, I don't think I can do anymore. And I'm telling this dude how to do it, and he's like, I don't think I can do it anymore. I was like, I'm telling you, man, this stuff is a kill. And as much, I've heard people make fun of it now because it's gotten to be real common or whatever. And so people are like, oh, CrossFitters are always talking about blah, blah, blah. But looking back on it, those workouts are tough, dude.
Yes.
I mean, you can say what you want to about it, but there's a reason why people take pride in doing those workouts and completing them.
Yeah, exactly. And those big weightlifters, they make fun of it because they don't want to squat all the way down. They want to do that half-ass squat.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man.
And there's a lot of stuff like that though that that stuff was interesting to me, and that's why I don't mind talking. I guess maybe I don't live in one camp or the other. You know what I mean? I'm not like, well, if you don't lift weights or if you don't do CrossFit, or I'm interested in that kind of stuff just because it in my limited experience, it was something that pushed me further than I thought I could go in a lot of instances,
Well, CrossFit is, we have weight days, we have strength days where we do the, bench press and whatever else. But, a lot of new people trying out CrossFit, they get discouraged on the first day because they go home and the next day, well, that day, but the next morning they're sore than they've ever been in their life, and so it's hard to keep going when you're that sore, but it does get a lot better. I get to the point where I don't get sore.
Yeah.
It's weird, but I just don't get that sore.
Well, it's physically taxing.
It kills me.
Right.
It kills me, my whole body.
And that's what I mean about,
but it's worth it.
If you go out and run a few miles, like I'm not used to running very far. So if I go out and run like 2 or 3 miles, yeah, dude, I mean, I'll have to do it in stages or whatever.
Oh, definitely.
But like, to me, CrossFit is like, you're challenging your body on so many different levels in one workout.
Right.
That it's like when it's like almost like a cliche for people to fall down when the workout's over with, but that's legit. I know what little bit I did of it, dude. When I laid down at the end of that workout, it's because I was spent. Like I had pretty much given what I felt like was all I had to give.
Everything you had, yep.
Especially in these timed workouts, you're like, oh my, what?
None of them are easy.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty about CrossFit as well. You can come and work out with all these, experienced CrossFitters, and you can scale whatever the workout is. You can scale it, and it's not like when you go to a regular place to work out, people are looking at you or whatever. It's not like that here.
Yeah.
You know, you're just doing your own thing, and you know, with the whole class, and you scale it. I mean, I've had to scale every single workout just about. I mean, even after I was, you know, it just seemed like I don't know. It there's no judgment.
Well, yeah, because if it's easy, then speed up, or you know,
Right.
I mean, there's an easy way to make it suit
Yeah,
people. So
and no one's staring at you. No one's putting you down. No one's thinking, "Oh my gosh."
Well, they know it's tough.
right.
You know, they did that movement, so they know what it's
Yeah.
like to jump over that damn bar and do a burpee, and then jump over the bar again.
Yeah.
And yeah, that I could see. The camaraderie part of it was pretty cool. You know, even whenever I was showing up to classes with people that I didn't know anybody in them, you know, it was still like we're all still running this far. We're all still doing this many burpees, and we're, you know,
Right.
and that part of it was cool.
Yeah.
That part of it I liked.
I have nothing bad to say about it. Even though, you know, I got in-laws and, you know, brother-in-law that's, you know, part owners of the gym. Even if they weren't, I still have nothing bad to say about it. I encourage everyone to try it out.
Well, see, and that's me. I have absolutely no dog in the fight. As
Right.
far as, I mean, I guess I've done a lot of different workouts. I mean, depending on what I'm trying to do at one point or another. Of course, my weight has yo-yoed all my life, but definitely, you know, CrossFit to me was like, it's interesting because of the different. It's so many different movements or so many different things in one workout, where it doesn't feel like, well, I'm just lifting weights or I'm running, or, you know, it's like these full body things that you do that are designed, I guess you'd say, to push you beyond limits that you thought you had for yourself. You know, you're like, oh my, I cannot do another burpee. And they're like, yeah, you can.
Yeah, and
Go ahead.
And the easiest workouts the workouts that look the easiest on paper are usually the most difficult.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay. You see you have the app that tells you what the workout is today, and you're like, okay, getting yourself ready, and you're like, oh, this is gonna be an easy day. Then you show up, and you're like, oh my gosh, why did I think that looked easy?
Yeah.
Because that was not easy.
Yeah. Oh, I remember, you know, when we were doing it at the wellness center, just me and you and Larry, you know, in those mornings, and he would say, you know, we're going to do this. And I'd be thinking, okay, so we're, you know, running 2 laps, and then we're doing this burpees, and we're doing, you know, these things. And I remember when I first started out, the warm-ups that we would do in the morning, I'd be like,
I'm done.
we're working out now? This was to get ready to work out? I'm panting and sweating, and you know what I mean? I'm like, there's no way I cannot do this, you know?
Dude, that's me when I was even working out, you know, here, you know, well, not here, but at the other one that we had. That was me, you know. You're like, all right, we're going to run, you know, 400, and then we're going to do, you know, 40 push-ups or whatever we would do. I don't remember, but I'd be like, oh my God. I would complain about it every time.
Yeah.
To Zach or Josh, whoever was coaching that day, I'd complain about it every single time. I'm like, jeez, you guys know that I'm, you know.
Well, then watching Larry do them, you know, it was just like, it almost, and nothing against Larry's age, but it was just like, this man's, you know,
An animal.
20 some odd years older than me, and I'm watching him do these kipping pull-ups, and I'm just like,
And everything else he could do.
I mean, the entire workout, he's killing the
Yes.
workout. And I'm sitting there going,
I know.
you know, what? You know, I'm dying doing the scaled down version, because he does like the, you know, almost like, it always felt like the fat kid version of it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you're going to die if I make you do this, so do this instead, you know? And I'm over there like trying to suffer through it, and he's doing the real workout, you know? But that was cool. I mean, it was very cool to be doing that stuff with somebody that understood it, you know, where you weren't just doing some crazy thing he just thought up, you know, to throw together or whatever.
Because you and I would, like, for whatever reason, he wouldn't show up, or, you know, he didn't come the next day, and you and I would go work out together, and you'd be like, all right, what are we going to do? And I was brand new at it too.
Yeah.
So really all I knew how to do was like thrusters.
Yeah.
And you got sick of it. And one day you're like, dude, really? You pick thrusters every day.
Yeah, they're
Every
killers.
time it's thrusters. And I'm thinking, back in my head, I was like, well, it's the best thing for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the best thing for anyone to do. It's a really tough movement, but it's really good for you.
Yeah.
You're working everything. Cheese and rice
Definitely.
are working everything.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
So that's what I would pick. I'm like, that thrusters. Let's do thrusters and box jumps and run. That's a simple workout. And you were like, gosh. And then I realized, I was like, you know what? I do pick thrusters every time. And yes, they do suck really bad.
Well, I mean, and going into it that the workout's going to suck. But it's just like these suck worse than everything.
Yeah.
But no, they were good workouts, and I didn't feel like it was a wasted minute. I always was glad. I mean, I would hate going through it, but then through the day, I'd be like, man, I'm glad I did that.
Oh yeah. And then once you get going, for just you got to give it time. You've got to get going for weeks before you're at the top of the hill, so to speak. It's a steep climb, and it's a forever climb, because you're just going to keep pushing yourself and pushing yourself and pushing yourself. It's not going to get easy.
Yeah.
It's never going to get easy.
Well, and you don't want it to be.
Right.
I mean, you're not going to
Exactly.
You're not going to be in shape if it's easy.
But your first few weeks are the toughest by far.
Yeah.
That's just with anything you do. I mean, if you start a new job, your first few weeks is the toughest by far. So it's easy. Like I said, it's easy for someone to get discouraged in CrossFit, because when they start, your body is never hurt like this before, and you think it's not doing you any good, and it's doing more harm than good. And I feel that way. Still, I'm like, gosh, what am I doing?
Yeah, there's been times I'm thinking, physically, is this harming me?
Right.
I'm always worried about, the worst thing I ever read about was that rhabdo, what I mean?
Yes,
then I'm always like,
and you can't push
is that
yourself
what's
to that.
happening? Yeah,
The athletes are the ones that are in tip top shape.
Can get
those
there.
are the ones that get there.
Yeah.
We're not able to push our bodies that far.
Yeah. I'll be over there puking in the corner or
I
whatever.
have felt like I have pushed my body that far many times. I was partners with Jim Jeffries one time. Shout out to Jim. Probably don't listen, but I was partners with him one time, and it was a partner workout, and I started puking, like holding it in. I could feel it. It was coming.
Oh, God.
So I left. We're in the middle of a workout. Still to this day, he'll tell the story. Still to this day, he's like, I was looking around and my partner was driving off. And I was, dude. And I'm not going to be gross, but, I did puke in my truck. I didn't get it on the truck or anything, but I puked in my water bottle. And I mean, that's what I had to do. And I was puking the whole way home. Just driving, puking at the same time, But
Well, I never threw up from him, but I've stood over the trash can and be like, yeah, it's coming any second,
Well, the only time I would throw up is when I would come back from not working out for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where I would be right now. I haven't worked out in a while.
Shape, yeah.
Now at home, it's different because I'm not on anybody else's clock. I'm doing my own thing. And
it's easy to slow down if you start to
if
feel
I get
like,
to that point, I'm done. I'm not going to push myself. But if I come here, with being my size and working out with other guys that are, a little younger than me or a little bit older than me and that are in good shape, it's really easy for me to be pushing myself,
right,
trying to do what they're doing.
almost competing.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, or when I come back, trying to do what I used to could do.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm trying to do the same weight, or I'm trying to, I'm like, I can do this still, I'm not. And then that's when I'll puke. But I will not puke ever again if I just stay consistent with it.
Yeah.
Even the next day, I can push myself just as hard as I did that first day, but that for whatever reason, that first day back, I'll get where I will puke. I mean, there's been several times I've walked out of the gym and puked. Several times.
God.
But that day, partner WOD, I felt like it was over for me. I was like, I just gotta go home, And so I left
You
right in
didn't
the
even
middle.
tell him you were leaving? You just rolled out?
Heck no, dude. I rolled out right then. I went and got my truck and rolled out, and I was puking in my truck before I even got out of the parking lot. And I didn't have time, man. I had to let it go. I was like, oh gosh. And then you feel okay, but there's something about, I don't know what it is, but once you get those first few days in, you're good to go. I mean, you're gonna hurt, but you're still gonna be sore and stuff, But dude, it's so worth it. It's so worth it.
Yeah.
But don't start it unless you have the intention of fully, going in. And what I mean by that is don't think that you're going to come work out 1 or 2 days a week and get benefit or see the results, see any results, and it's going to hurt when you come back on Monday.
Hell
if you come
yeah.
Monday and Tuesday and work out and you're in pain from, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which is it's likely.
Yeah.
You can
Just
hurt.
be getting over it in time to go back and
Just
work
to be
out
getting
2 days.
exactly.
Yeah.
So come Monday, it's going to hurt some more, but eventually it's going to hurt less and less. And I don't know. I'm just trying to who I'm talking to, because you brought it up. Is who I'm talking to is the people that's never done it before.
Yeah.
People that's done it before, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of just saying the same thing over and over and over because I see it. I see a lot of people come for 1 or 2 days and then you don't ever see them again, or you see them in Walmart or whatever, and they're like, "No, man,
Yeah.
CrossFit's
Piss
not
on
for
that.
me." Exactly. And I get it to an extent, but even a 75-year-old man or woman can do CrossFit and scale it. They can still be a part of it.
Yeah.
And maybe they don't have to do the stupid things. They don't have to do the burpees or whatever, or I've seen 50-year-old people, 60-year-old people. They're like, "Man, this CrossFit is not for me." And I'm like, "Hey, here at this gym, because I know Josh, Carney, he's an excellent coach. And I'm not just saying that because we're friends. He's an excellent coach. So if you came here as a newbie or and you didn't know what to do or whatever, he's going to help you, scale it to and he's not going to have you doing things that you're not supposed to do. And I'm not just giving them a shout out or giving him a shout out for the fun of it. I'm serious. I've watched him coach, over the years, and he's passionate about it, and he's very patient, and he likes to watch people when they're if they're new. He likes to watch out after them or over them to make sure they're not going to hurt themselves, because he takes it serious. So anyways, we got off on that, and I didn't even know we were going to be talking about CrossFit. Dog.
Well, I mean, I've had a few things kind of floating around in my head that I'd like to get on here and talk about.
I want to talk about football real quick before we leave.
Okay, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I didn't really give a shout out to Kaysen.
Oh, okay.
For his first game, and not just Kaysen, the whole football team. We won, and we've talked about it before on the last podcast. It's not all about winning, and it's really not.
Reminds me of that old commercial. We won! Where he's honking his horn or whatever. Anyways, go ahead. It's an old commercial.
Yeah, it's before my time, I guess. But, but anyways, he scored the
who'd you
first.
guys play?
We played Broken Arrow at Broken Arrow.
Which one, blue or gold or black, or which one? Because they're like a black and gold, aren't they? Broken Arrow, black. Broken Arrow, gold.
I don't know which one it was we played.
Okay, it don't matter. Anyways,
we did
I'm
not.
just curious.
We did not play Broken Arrow. I just lied. I'm an idiot. We played at Broken Arrow for the Jamboree a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
We played Choctaw.
Oh, okay.
And at home. Golly.
You were not prepared for that question.
And just so
You're
everyone
like,
knows, I do help coach.
No,
that's
why I
how
was like,
that's how
all right.
that's how clueless I am, I guess. I help coach. I help wrangle these stray cats, running around out there on the sidelines and stuff. No, I love it, and I love every one of our kids. I really do.
But you did win. What was the score?
We did win 19-6. Kaysen, and I put this on Facebook, but Kaysen puked all over himself. He got a bad headache, so he's out there puking all over himself, all over his face mask and his helmet and stuff. So he stood on the sideline for a little bit, and then they scored while he was on the sideline on his side of the field. He's a cornerback, and they took advantage. And because the backup guy came in, he's never played football before, so. But we're going to get him there. We're going to get that kid up to speed too.
How many guys do you have on your team? How many players?
We have 15 players.
Okay.
And we lost one. We lost one player this year to unrelated issues. Nothing football related. And Kaysen scored a touchdown.
That's awesome.
About a 35-yard vertical, I think. And he was on a, I don't know, probably 55-yard vert, and I posted it as well. But we had a false start. Our slot receiver, man, you can see it in the video too, and I love the kid. I love them all, man, and I've laughed about it to him. I'm like, man, dude, what are you doing? In practice, I'm like, to stay put, right, until that ball moves, And he's like, and he knows, I know he knows, but he just wasn't thinking, and he just took off running. I don't know. Did you see the video? Did you watch it closely? Where he caught it, but the whistles were blown. Kaysen.
Yeah.
Well, if you look on the far side, I mean, we were running a jet sweep and fake, and our slot receiver, he's not moving. He's not supposed to till the ball moves, but he just takes off running. He's like, oh gosh, But anyways, I've seen a big improvement from last year in all of our kids and Kaysen.
That's the main thing, man.
And we've only had one game, but I'm very proud of him, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy with my decision to let him play in 3rd grade, and then here we are in 4th grade.
Yeah.
Because I can definitely tell. We got some players on our team that didn't play last year at all. Has never played football. And a couple of them are athletes, but I can tell a difference, in the ones that played last year and the ones that didn't play.
Yeah.
So I can imagine, and I'm not against, I'm not saying I'm against people, waiting until 6th grade or 7th grade or whatever. But I can tell, I can see, I can only imagine the difference it's going to be when these kids step up in 6th grade for the first time to ever play football.
Oh yeah.
So, and we've talked about that before, but I just want to let you know that I can already tell, and I knew you knew that I would be able to tell by now.
Yeah.
But Kaysen made a couple of open field tackles that were potentially could have been pretty rough to make, pretty tough to make, and he made them. So I was pretty happy with that.
That's the best part of it to me, is watch the progression. You go, wow, even maybe from the start of the year, from last year, you go, man, this dude has gotten it. He's a lot better at this, and that's the funnest part, is to watch him get better at that stuff. So that's good. That the payoff is the best part. Dude.
Yeah,
I love watching my kids play ball, or I like watching kids play ball. Period. But watching them get better, and you helped them. And not that you feel pride in what you did, but like you watch their improvement, and the game gets funner for them that way. Whenever it starts to be less about thinking about what you're doing and more just doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's what it's awesome. You're helping pass the sport along whenever somebody does something on that level, where they're not having to think about the fundamentals as much and all that kind of thing. So it's fun. That's cool.
Yeah. We're still, we still got some improvement to be made, of course.
Because I don't give a damn who you are. It's fun to win.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah,
so
definitely.
The more you win, the funner it's going to be.
You don't want to lose.
Right.
It's not all about winning, but it's if you tried your hardest, you learned, for the next game or whatever.
Well, playing is fun, but it's even funner if you win.
It's not fun when you lose.
No.
That's the way I look at it.
It kind of sucks. It feels
when
like
I
you
lose.
it kind of feels like you did all that work, not for nothing, but like, man, maybe, it wasn't quite enough or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's not as satisfying as a win is.
We got some good players on our team, though, man. I'm pretty excited about watching these guys play on through, high school. And I know we're way far away from high school, and I'm glad about that because I have but I know it goes by so fast.
It did not seem like that long ago that we were in 3rd grade. I say we.
Right.
My oldest son, Gavin, was in 3rd grade, dude, and now he's a junior, So watching the progression, and I remember it very well, just like you'll be able to, very well. what he was like in third grade, how he played, what he was good at, what he wasn't as good, what he needed more practice with.
Mm-hmm.
And then you watch him as a 17-year-old kid, and you're like, oh my gosh, And then in that moment that it was never a wasted time,
right?
So, I mean, and I'm not saying they have to play football all their life. I'm just talking about getting better at any sport. In any sport, it's that way. But anyway, we're talking about football now. So who they play? Who's next?
Muskogee.
Oh, that'll be a good game, dude. The dudes always have a good team.
And just so happened their scout video is corrupted.
Oh yeah.
So we can't watch their video.
Yeah.
We can't prepare for We were hoping ours is up. You can go watch it.
Yeah.
You can go watch all of our plays. You can go watch what we're gonna be.
Well, you can go beat them, and it feels even better then. You're like, well, you tried to cheat us, and we still beat you. So.
Right. Yeah.
So, well, that'll be a fun game.
We got some tough kids on our team, man. We got some tough kids. But I'm pretty excited about this season. I really am. It's like I said, I can see I thought honestly coming into this year we were going to be at the same level we were last year.
Yeah.
Starting off, I thought we needed and we do some things we do need to, some things we've had to, touch base on and stuff.
Yeah, you have to backtrack just a little bit.
Yeah. But we started off pretty strong, I was impressed.
That's good, man. That's good. I'm glad you guys won. I always like it whenever people win.
Yeah, because our practice is Tuesday and Wednesday, so
it's oh my gosh, dude.
Might be able to go.
Bishop Kelly.
We're gosh,
at Bishop Kelly.
It's at Bishop Kelly.
Yes, Thursday. Thursday at like 5:30. Yeah, so I'll have to leave work early and go work there for it. But,
fly up there.
But
and then Friday night, you guys start the season off in high school, right?
Mm-hmm. Muskogee at home. I'm really excited about that. I mean, I'm excited about both teams. But Gavin's getting old enough now. He's junior, so it's like, physically he's coming into his own,
mm-hmm.
and I'm really excited to see what he's going to be able to do. Like I say, physically, he's always been a tall kid or whatever, but he's always been kind of thin and excuse me. So I'm kind of anxious. He's starting to fill out, and he's getting. Thank God, at 17 years old. But I'm just saying, some of the things he's able to do are pretty. It's cool to watch. It's kind of a culmination of all these years. It's not his senior year in high school, but I mean, he's been playing since third grade. So, you watch him, the fundamentals that he's been taught. Just like Case and them guys are learning, watching that come together with physically. How a guy gets, or as he gets to be that age, it's pretty neat to watch the two come together, to watch these kids and plenty of kids on his team too. I mean, I've been around those kids since sixth grade.
Yeah.
And to watch them, they're the same way coming up. And I'm excited about McAllister's football season this year. They look pretty good. And the first scrimmage was a little bit rough, but I don't think they didn't want to show their hand too much. I think they kind of held back on plays and what they wanted out there on film and that kind of stuff like that. So that second game, defensively for sure, they upped the ante quite a bit. So I'm excited about it.
I didn't get to see that one.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. I mean, it's kind of cool seeing them again. I've went to a couple of practices, and it's neat to watch them practice against each other, and that black and gold scrimmage and that kind of thing. But watch them against kids, and they're tending to take it almost like a game. I mean, these guys are taking it pretty serious, and the coaching staff watching these guys, how they're acting. Maisie, the new coach, cool to watch him. I mean, standing up for his players, don't take no crap off the refs, even if it is a scrimmage. And I'm not saying he needs to mouth about everything, but there were some things that didn't seem right to me either, and he was out there, asking why, and he was very involved in all levels. So he appreciates the intensity level when it's up and that kind of thing like that. So I think they've got some good opportunities. They've got some really good athletes, and everything's looking pretty good. I think it's going to be a decent season. Good. I mean, of course, people are already talking winning the district and all that kind of thing like that. And I'm not saying we won't. I just don't want to talk too big yet.
Right.
I mean, we've seen 2 damn scrimmages, but
baby steps.
Muskoge's going to be a good indicator. I think we're going to get an idea, you know, because they're up a class from us. So last year was not all that interesting. Muskogee kind of had their way with us. I didn't appreciate it.
No.
So we'll have them at home this year, and I don't know. It's going to be fun. They're going to be playing Ada. You know, Ada's on the schedule, and it's going to be fun.
Is that going to be a home game?
I think they play Ada at home, if I remember right. I'm pretty sure.
Because we played Ada last year at Ada.
Yeah.
Ada.
Yeah. I think they play them here in McAllister, and it's going to be fun. Big rival. You know how that whole history
I got
goes.
a good taste of it at Ada last year.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
They take that thing serious. And I get it. I mean, it's kind of like a Wilburton versus Hartshorn game.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Well, and you know, it's a cool thing that as a matter of, and this is one thing that I like about McAllister School that, I mean, of course there's things I don't like, but there's some things I do, and they kind of brought back that rivalry on purpose, you know, and it's to drive some interest in sports and things that I feel personally that are important to my kids anyway. I can't speak for everybody else's, but I was glad to see that they did that. You know, they kind of made it
really exciting. I know that.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. That stuff is.
Well, they hadn't played Ada in a long time, right?
Yeah, it was like 5 years that they went without playing them, and which is unfortunate whenever it's that big a rival. You know, those guys have all that history going back to, geez, it's like the 40s or something like that.
And then they smashed us last year.
Yeah.
It was not a good game.
No. And the boys that are playing now are carrying that chip. You
right.
know, I mean, you know, my son especially, I mean, that's who I can speak of unequivocally because I talk to him about it all the time. He's carrying a big chip about it, you know. I mean, in general, because of the type of season they had last year, he was not happy with it.
Right.
You know, and now he's not an underclassman, he's a junior, and he kind of feels like he's definitely a part of the team. I mean, he did last year too, but I mean, he feels like he's got some say-so or a little bit of ability to speak or whatever you want to say. And they want to build. They don't want to go backwards. They want to go forward as hard as they can. So
good.
It'll be fun. It's gonna be fun to watch. I hope it goes as well as I'm wanting it to. A lot of talk. I mean, a lot more positive talk this time last year. You know, there was a lot of people like, oh, you know, a lot of grumbling and that kind of thing like that. And everybody's awake and everybody's, you know, into it and that kind of thing. So it's exciting. I'm glad for it.
Yeah, it seems that way. Seems like everyone's excited about the new coach. And
well, especially since my son's gotten old enough to play, you know, it kind of sucked whenever he, you know, like as a freshman, he was getting to play some high school ball and everybody's like, yeah, but they suck.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, hey, you know, it's still high school football, and it's
right.
5A high school football.
And anytime you have a new coach, you're going to have some hype. You know, people are going to be excited. But when you talk to the kids and they tell you, you know, how much they like the new coach and how of a positive experience everything has been, and they feel like it's going, you know, in a good direction, that's really what you want to hear.
Yeah, even in workouts and like lifting weights and things like that, you know, he's transferred some energy into these kids as far as, you know, some intensity and that kind of thing like that. And he's asking some of these kids like their self-respect. You know, I mean, he brings that up. You know, is this how you want to be? Is this how you want to be remembered? And you know, that's something I've always instilled in my kids, you know, is playing ball is, you know, like I've said on here before, you're going to be remembered for something. You know, whichever way you want to do it, the people are going to remember either a good or bad thing. They're going to tend to remember the bad more than the good, but it's up to you what kind of legacy you leave, you know. And I know from experience of not doing as well as I wanted to or should have done that you don't want that kind of regret. You know, I mean, high school is just high school, but still, you know, it follows you around if you haven't seen somebody since high school and you go, oh yeah, I remember you. Yeah, I remember you quit. You know, well, shit.
Right.
You know, you don't want that. You want, you know. So, and my family's got a little bit of history here in this town. You know, my cousin played here and he left a pretty good legacy that people still remember. And and that helped build, I think, inside of Gavin a little bit of, hey, I'm from here, my family's from here, so there's a reputation to uphold to a certain degree, which my cousin was not trying to build any sort of reputation. He's just that dude, took it serious and played hard, that kind of thing. But it helped. It's helping build my son, just kind of inadvertently. So,
yeah.
Anyways, I'm excited about it. Yes, ready to get started. Hopefully, we got good stories to tell. And
we didn't have any games this weekend because it was Labor Day weekend. So, but our season started last Saturday. So,
and who do you play next? Did you say that already?
Yeah, I said it already. Muskogee.
Oh, crap. Okay. Yeah. You did say that. Sorry. I didn't, for some reason, I didn't grab onto it. I don't know why I didn't, but
you said it'd be a tough game or a good
they
game.
usually have a good team, man. Anytime we played them.
And I said we have no video of them.
Oh yeah, the corrupted video.
Because the league we're in, they send video crew out or a video guy, so they video every game, and then it's not very long after the game you can access the game, anybody's game.
Yeah.
You can use it to scout. It's kind of the point. So, or it is the point.
And they put it on Huddle, right?
It's not Huddle. It's a different one.
Oh, okay.
It's Vipe.
Oh, okay.
Is it Vipe? I think it's Vipe. Vipe Replay or whatever. But so yeah, they screwed the pooch on.
That's a cool thing
Muskogee.
that we didn't have in the early years.
Well, I thought it was great. Also, I mean, I was shocked. I was like, really? You can go watch all these games? So yeah, we can. We can go watch all the games.
Definitely cool to watch highlights, of the game you just played and that kind of thing. I mean, because anytime we played a game, when the boys would play, we always go over almost play by play. Well, it was this. Well, you could have done this and da da da. So it'd be nice to have some video to go back and go, look, you see what you're doing?
Yeah.
You told me you were blocking this guy, but I'm watching the video here and you're not blocking that guy.
Right. Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah, and even like that's what I did last weekend. I was taking video on the sideline myself, right? And then we got another guy, dad that's made the highlight video for us. And I didn't know he was going to be doing the highlight video. So I'm over there trying to get as much footage as I can and coach at the same time or help coach,
right?
And not look like, okay, why is that coach out there, taking videos of his kids? I'm like, I don't like to be that guy, but when no one else is doing it, but he said he's going to do it now. He's going to make so in the highlight video, Kaysen misses a block, and our running back did, he did well. He got some positive yards, but Kaysen missed his block, and our other wide receiver missed his block. So I'm like, dude, you're in a highlight video missing blocks, So come on, man. And it was, I don't know. It's just like it was at the very first of the game, and I don't know why he missed his block, but
kids are going to do it.
Yeah,
especially young kids. I mean, to a certain degree, when that ball snapped, they're not thinking, "What am I about to do?"
Right.
They're thinking, "Where's the ball going?" and that kind of thing. I mean, unfortunately, even no matter what level it is, sometimes what happens with the skilled people is the only thing that they're worried about. And where these other positions like blocking and that kind of thing like that kind of get left to, well, we scored, so who cares? Just like Gavin, it's funny you watch now, like Gavin scored a touchdown in that last scrimmage, but the thing I noticed is that Kobe Squires threw a hell of a block when Gavin caught the ball and made the touchdown possible. I mean, that kid would have at least got a hold of Gavin and slowed him down. And because of Kobe, he didn't. He caught the ball, ran, and scored, yay, and all that kind of thing like that.
So that guy should get some credit.
Well, that's what the first thing I said is hey, when we walked out on the field after the end of the game, I said, Kobe Squires threw a hell of a block for you. He goes, I know, man. He opened it wide up for me,
Awesome.
So, and like I said, blocking, especially for receivers, very underrated part of the game. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of glory in it per se.
Right.
And I always felt like it was important to remind people.
It's the people that know football are the ones that see them.
Yeah.
But it's the regular fans, and I say regular fans, it's a lot of the fans don't really see that part.
Right, they're watching the ball go, and I
Right.
get it, but there's 11 against 11 out
Right.
there, and there's 11 fist fights happening every down.
Yep.
And to me, when you start to look at the game holistically like that, then it starts to make kids not get bored. You know what I mean? If
Right.
they're on the offside of the play, they're not getting bored over there, pushing, and all that. I've seen my own kids do it. They know the ball's going away from them, so they're
not really
playing
blocking.
half-assed.
Yeah.
So and that knowing that part that they're playing is important helps keep them interested in the sport.
Yeah.
And so I was always real quick to remind
Well,
them.
it's like the line too. You gotta. I don't even coach the line. But I will talk to them every once in a while. We kind of practice apart from each other. And then we bring them together. You're over there. Coaching your wide receivers, coaching your defensive backs. So you don't really have it. I don't have much interaction with our line. Our linemen, but I still will go talk to them a little bit. And coach is good at it too. Letting them know how important they are. They're the most important guys on the field.
Yeah.
Period. But it's hard for a kid to see that because his version or the way he thought football was going to be played for him when he got there was he was going to be catching footballs or throwing footballs and he's blocking.
Yeah.
And that's all he's doing. Or he's trying to if he's playing defense, he's trying to bust through the line or whatever. And it's like getting old to them, so you don't want it to get old to them. You want to let them know, guys, listen, this is important. This is very, very important, and some of them are like,
Well,
and they don't look at me like that. I'm just saying, I feel like I got to give them a little more encouragement because in a way you kind of feel bad for them because they thought they were going to be doing something different when they came to play football.
Yeah.
And here they are on the line.
Well, and to me, that's the beauty of a team sport is that you get to learn that you're not always carrying the ball every play.
Right.
You're not always throwing the ball every play.
Yes.
There's a whole there. It's intricate. What's the word I'm looking for? Anyways, there's a lot going on,
Mm-hmm.
and so for a kid to be able to understand that, a good example, I've got some relatives that, like my cousin Logan that I grew up with, was a really good lineman in high school. Big guy, strong, and did really well. Played Class A football, played at Quinton. And he was really good, though. I mean, this kid, he took it serious. And so consequently, as he's growing up, when he's watching football on TV, he's watching his position. He didn't just watch the running back run the ball or quarterback throw or anything like that. He's watching his position. So he on his own kind of figured out what made his position interesting. Mm-hmm. So now he's got his own kids, his own boys they play skill positions. They don't play the line. They weren't big like him. So his nephew, on the other hand, is a lineman. So he took him under his wing. And then now his other boys don't play football at all. They stopped playing. They play baseball and basketball. But the older one, or his nephew plays, and he's like, look at guys like Zach Martin and people that go to college and play football as linemen, and then they go on to professional and they get paid money like skill positions do. These guys, they're part of the
Big
line.
money.
Yeah, these guys are big and fast now instead of just big guys that are out there pushing each other around.
Mm-hmm.
So he's developed this kid into it, and this kid's good. And he takes his position serious. And, it takes somebody going, look, man, I know that the guys that are getting a lot of the credit are the guys that are throwing and
Right.
and running and that kind of thing like that. But it can't happen without this. Watch this film. Watch what it takes to make these plays open up and that kind of stuff. And so that comes with time. Like you said, when kids are little, they all want to be quarterback. Everybody,
Right.
Well, everybody who wants to be a quarterback get in that line. Well, the whole damn team's going to line up over
Yeah.
there, So that's why I say football is a great metaphor for life, dude, because not everybody's a quarterback. You know what I mean? As much as everybody would like to be, in life, sometimes you're not as good at something as somebody else is. So being able to recognize that and know that you still play a part is the cool part about it, that you can learn to be satisfied where you are. And I'm not saying settle for something, but I'm just saying learn that you bring things to the table too. Just because somebody's better than you at this doesn't mean, that they're better than you at everything.
Right.
That's why you can't beat football, for a metaphor for life. I'm sorry. But anyway.
I see it.
Anyway, yeah, those linemen, I've watched those kids from 6th grade on, the kids that are playing on the line now with Gavin and them in high school. I mean, I watched them. I watched them go from, little, pudgy kids to men. I mean, these guys are gotten quick. They're strong. They're big. And
I think it's easier for those guys to be on the line because they realize, hey, this is what I'm good at. I'm a big guy. I'm not as fast as these wide receivers or these running backs and I'm going to be good at this, at what I do now. But the kids that are younger age, they're like, man, what am I doing?
Well, if you can get it in their head where everybody's getting to whoop ass every play, if you can get that mentality started on a kid, no matter where you're playing at, you want to dominate this guy in front of you.
Yeah.
And there's people that would look down on that mentality, but I'm just saying in the sport of football.
It's football.
Yeah. I mean, you want, the kid that's playing center or the kid that's playing guard or tackle, you want him to get that in his head that he wants to dominate that guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've always said. If I'd have had kids that played on the line, he'd have been the meanest, nastiest. I could have made some good linemen out of them. My kids, for whatever reason, ended up playing skill positions. But kind of like my cousin Logan that I was talking about a while ago, his boys didn't play on the line. But if they had, he'd have made them good ones. And I'd been the same way, as good as I like to feel like my boys are at the game, if they'd have been linemen, they'd have been shining. They'd been like, damn, that Johnson kid, when he blocks, he takes him 10 yards back every time, or it's a pancake block every time he touches somebody, because that's the mentality we take to the game. That way, you got your self-worth. You went out there and you accomplished something. We're going to get better at it, whatever it might be. And that's the hard part sometimes to get through to kids, because everybody goes, well, I wanted to catch the football, and some of them don't stay hooked because of that.
Right.
But the kids that get, that everybody's out here, it's like I said, fist fight from the beginning of the down, from whistle to whistle. So if you can get them on the same page, they usually do better,
Yeah. And I think a lot of our guys, are on that page. I just, like I said, I just kind of like to go over there and talk to them a little bit.
Any encouragement's good.
Keep them pumped up just in case, because I know that they're not getting the, the credit or the whatever they deserve, because they're out there busting their butts every play, So, anyways.
Yeah, those dudes are, I guess you'd say, unsung heroes to some people. Some people sing their praises, especially guys that
know football,
that played
that position, yeah. Or even played behind them, as a running back or quarterback. They know more than anyone how important they are.
Well, like Kobe Lauerman's a good example. Played on a really good team, knows what it's like when you're functioning as a unit and how well you can do and that kind of thing like that. I mean, he's a good dude to have teaching those kids that kind of thing.
He's doing a good job too.
Yeah. I
was worried how we were not about him because, our line coach moved last year, and I thought, who are we going to get to replace him? We have another dad that's a good line coach as well. He just, has a messed up work schedule, so he can't be there all the time. So I didn't think that he would be the new line coach, but I was thinking who we're going to get. And then Kobe's like, it's me. I was like, oh yeah. But
the kids on
his
team
nephew,
his
nephew plays with us, and it's his first year.
Yeah.
And he's tall, he's young, he's the youngest kid on our team, I think, or one of them, and he's big and fast, and he's got to learn, how big and fast he is, how strong he really is, because he don't know,
Yeah.
So he's kind of, when he gets it, when he learns how mean he can be, I feel sorry for people that he'll be out there in the field against, because he'll be out there wrecking shop.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have another guy that's just like him. It's big, strong, and fast, and he does know. And he's like a freaking bull. And I'm not kidding. He's out there. He's just doing his job.
Yeah.
He's out there wrecking shop.
Yeah, we had a kid that played on Gavin's team when he played at Hartshorn that knew what he could do. and he was big. He was too big to carry the ball. You got the weight limits and that kind of thing. But he had that mentality where he felt as important as a running back or as a receiver, and it showed. You know what I mean? Because he'd kick ass every down. I mean, whatever kid, and this dude's in 3rd grade. And I mean, whatever kid was in front of him, I felt bad for him because this kid he was big and strong. I just saw him today. It was weird. Weird we're talking about it, but he was a big kid. He was bigger than everybody, taller than everybody, meaner. You know what I mean? He had the right mentality from day one, and he made people look bad, and he took a lot of pride in his position and what he could do. We had him pulling and doing a lot of things that kids, 3rd grade kids, normally don't really excel at. And this man pull and go run around the edge, and he gonna lay somebody down. You know what I mean? He's gonna throw a good block. Now, what you do with it's up to you. The way he looked at it, but I don't know. It's a mentality. You got to just enforce it.
Well, I'm excited about football season. For everyone. I'm excited to watch Carter play. I'm excited to watch my son play. Of course, I've got to because I'm one of the coaches, or else I wouldn't be there because I don't know. And I'm definitely excited for Gavin in high school. I think it's going to be an awesome year for everyone. I hope, anyways.
It's been fun to watch so far. So far it's going really well.
Well, I watched, Gavin's the scrimmage. I got to watch that first one, but and then I got to watch Carter's same day, of course. But I think it's going to be good.
Well, and
football season's always exciting, and I'm excited for the Sooners. Because they are unstoppable.
I did not know this Hurts kid.
You never seen him play? Holy moly, dude! No. I had no doubts.
I knew he was supposed to be good, but I mean,
very good. I had zero doubts. I was almost, and I'm not saying he's better than the other Alabama quarterback, but man, it's a good problem to have, but it's a bad problem at the same time because you have 2 excellent quarterbacks, and you're having to pick, but he's here. He's here. It's hard to see him out there at first. I was like, I don't like this guy, but I'm excited for what he brings to the table. I'm excited about him, but at the same time, he used to wear an Alabama uniform, and I hate Alabama. We all hate Alabama, The whole freaking country hates Alabama.
Yeah.
So,
well, you think about what it means for OU football, what it means for Lincoln Riley.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I know.
3 Heisman Trophy winners in a row. Or at least maybe even a runner-up, or
Well, after that performance, holy moly,
right?
He's on his way.
Yeah.
Tell me somebody else had a better performance yesterday.
Yeah.
Or over the weekend.
Well, and honestly, I know both of us are big OU fans, but it's undeniable that the Oklahoma football program is known for excellence. It's like them guys basically don't have to recruit. That program recruits itself, so I'm glad to see some defensive guys that were like it's nice to see like some guys play like that Murray kid did. What is it, Kenneth Murray Jr.?
Mm-hmm.
To watch a kid like that, that's like the olden days linebackers. They'd always have one or 2 guys that were just like standout freaks, and it's nice to see that back because last year the defense was just like, oh, hell, I hope we can get the ball back so we can outscore these guys.
Kind of maybe I'm dead wrong, kind of reminded me of Rufus.
Yeah, I can see that. This dude plays hard, fast, running quarterbacks down. This dude's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I don't care who they play, And, of course, you hear these guys already barking about, these guys are running for national championship, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying they're not. I didn't know how we were going to be at quarterback because I didn't know enough about this Hurts kid. And that's me just not being in the loop or whatever. But defensively, I know we were big, favored to beat Houston and
right.
And all that. But, they looked good as a whole.
Well, I went to the Houston game a few years ago in Houston. It was our opener, and we lost.
Yeah.
I was in Houston already, went to the game, and we lost.
Well, don't go to Houston.
So I
games
wasn't
anymore,
about to go to the game yesterday. I was like, no. And I don't believe in that stuff. You know what I mean? I know it's not going to be, it's not me that, I was like, no.
then. No, it was you.
May have been. That's what I said too. But I want to, before we get off here, I want to give a shout out to Tracy Allen.
Oh, yeah. Did you get to talk to him anymore?
I did message him. And a little short story, I'll tell you what happened a little bit, or tell the viewers what happened. We have a friend who's a man's man, Marine,
Most definitely.
and firefighter, and a fellow law enforcement officer. I was on the same SWAT team as him. He was our one of our leaders, and so when you hear a story like this happen to a guy like him, it really hits home. It really is kind of an eye opener, But anyways, they were kayaking or canoeing, I'm not sure which, or doing a little bit of both in the Illinois River, which is about, I don't know, a couple hours from here.
Or rafting.
Or rafting.
You can do any of those things.
Okay, yeah. So I guess they hit a log in the water because there was some debris in the water. Well, Tracy fell over. And Lacey, his wife, and some other people that were with him were waiting on him to come up. And he did not come up. And long story short, he was disoriented under the water in all the debris or whatever. From what I remember, disoriented, and finally was able to come up. And at that point, I guess a long time had passed. I guess he was under the water for a long time, and Lacey was almost about to call 911. She had her phone out. And, and Tracy's, I guess he's Swiftwater certified. So, experienced swimmer. And he thought it was over. From what I gather, he thought it was over too. He came up and was way out of breath. But he made it. I guess he popped his head up in an area where the debris was, a very small area he found where he could actually get up above the water. So she posted it on Facebook, and I saw it, and I was like, oh my gosh. I read it, and I was like, I don't even know what to say. I wanted to text him right then, and I was like, I don't want to bother him.
So did it happen like this weekend? I don't even know what day it happened.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess it happened at some point in the near future, last couple of days, I guess. And so I texted him, and he was like, yeah. He thought it was bad. Then,
dude, I've done that where you go to come to the surface and it's further than you thought.
Yeah.
And you don't break. Oh my! It's terrifying, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I want to do a shout out to Tracy Allen for making it, because I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
Can't lose another
big
friend.
shout out. Yeah.
So,
oh God,
and I don't even know if he wants me to do a shout out for him over this, but Lacey, she put a big post about it on Facebook. So if it were me, I'd be like, I would tell, don't put this on Facebook.
Oh, I want to hear. We need to have Tracy on here and let him tell us about it.
I wish he would come on,
because he's a very talented storyteller.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
He says stuff that's I've never heard of in my life.
Me too.
Makes me laugh every time. I don't know if I'll be able to keep a straight face with him on here. And he'll be serious as all get out.
Yeah, I know.
And I'll be laughing the whole time. And he's looking at me like, I'm not joking here, And I'm like, I know, but the things you're saying, just the little sentences, that you're throwing out there.
He's gonna make me sound like the Pope,
off.
dude. He can string cuss words together better than anybody I've ever known in my life. He's awesome at it.
So I'm glad everything worked out there, because of course.
We need to have him on, dude. Especially after this little deal. I'd like to have him on here pretty quick.
Well, I mean, if you
don't freaking roll out on us.
Well, soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get him on. Another shout out. Some big news coming out of Latimer County, and I'm excited about it.
Oh, I thought you were going to shout out the hurricane. Go ahead.
No. It's not really doing anything, I don't think. I don't know. I haven't checked on it. But some news coming out of Latimer County. Adam Woodruff is going to run for sheriff.
So he's like declared himself or
He
whatever?
has declared. I wanted him to come on and declare it himself before he put it on Facebook, but he had to put it on Facebook first. So, but a shout out to him, because you know, and I put it on Facebook that I know he's a friend of mine. We are friends. We're great friends.
Good dude.
Really good friends. Really good dude. Mm-hmm. And an even better cop. And it kind of is cliche, like, oh, he's a good cop, you know, but he really is. Anytime I ever had any questions when I was on duty, and I know it may sound stupid to other people, but he was the guy I could rely on. I could call and say, hey, man, I got this person, or I got this situation, I got this, this is what's going on. I got a call. These people are fighting these people over a dog or whatever. Because I did have that happen once. I didn't have to call him on that one, but that's a good story too. I'm going to tell it at some point on here. But we're at 4 hours and 9 minutes right now, which a lot of it's that draft, so that's going to be cut out. So for the podcast's sake, but we'll be putting the draft on YouTube. But anyways, anytime I needed his help, he knew the law really well, knows the law really well, and a great asset to have, as a fellow officer, And I had some other officers I could call. I mean, I'm not saying that, he was the only one, but he was the one I wanted to talk to every time. If I had a question, he was the one I called first. Then if I couldn't get a hold of him for whatever reason, he's sleeping, he's just got off work,
Yeah.
Then I would call somebody else or whatever, but he was the one. And I honestly and truly believe he'll do an excellent job for Latimer County. That's as deep as I'm going to get into it. Because he's going to, I think, hopefully we're going to have him on and so people can see.
Yeah. How many years has he been in law enforcement in Latimer County?
Oh, I think he started in 2003, it seems like, and I could be wrong. He may have started earlier than that, maybe in 2001. I can't remember exactly. I was there. I was right there with him when he started. I mean, Israel just got out of the Army. Israel was working for Latimer County, and Adam and I were right there riding along with him. We rode a long time. I rode a long time before I finally got certified. Before I went to Cleat, but Adam was right there with me. I mean, so we've been through a lot together.
Yeah. And
I'm talking about him having my back in serious, hairy situations, and same with me having his back. And we've been in some hairy situations. We've been in some police chases. We've been in some, foot pursuits. We've been in a lot of drug busts, a lot of, search warrants. And he'd be great for Latimer County.
Yeah.
Anyways, I didn't want to get too deep into it. Like I said, I didn't want people to think that I'm trying to feed them full a bunch of BS. I'm just telling them. I just want to give him a shout out. So Adam has declared, or he has just announced his candidacy to run for Latimer County Sheriff.
That's awesome.
Yep, I'm excited.
That is.
I'm
really
glad to
exciting.
get us all back together and training, and it's going to be. I mean, there's a lot of people behind the scenes that are ready for this to happen, ready for him to win. A lot of guys, like Tracy and Underwood and Israel.
You trying to head back to the SO?
Yeah, I'll probably be on the team.
Really?
Yeah, I'll probably go
You're
down
getting
there.
a little old, man. I think you're gonna be a little too slow. You know what I'm
please.
saying?
I wish
times passed, Brian.
I wish somebody would try to run from me, Brian. And if they can get
No,
away,
that would be very dumb.
if they can get away, then more power to them.
Yeah,
I don't know if Adam wants me to. I really didn't even talk to him about it, but I'm sure he'll have a spot for me.
He might be speaking out of turn. Maybe he don't like you too much.
Maybe not.
You know what I mean?
Maybe not. I mean, we want to start training. I know already. We want to get back in the swing of things, so we can. Man, what we were doing before? When Israel was sheriff, what we were doing before. People. I mean, there's a lot of things that we were doing that people don't even know about. I mean, we were training in all kinds of situations. We were training at the elementary school. We were training at the freaking. We were training at the dorms at Eastern. We were training at the high school. We were training in a lot of different places, and it's stuff like that. If I was a voter, if I knew that my sheriff or my administration, or if I knew of an administration that's doing all of that behind the scenes, not just going out and writing tickets or collecting a check and being all big and bad and carrying a gun, if I knew that they were doing all of this behind the scenes, I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? Wouldn't you think? Than just somebody that you like. Because there's some other guys that are running for sheriff that I do like. I do like them. I have nothing against them whatsoever. Nothing against them. But Adam's my choice. Adam would be my choice. I'm not a voter in Latimer County, but Adam would be my choice in this situation.
Just like myself. I mean, I know Adam and that kind of thing like that, and definitely I know for sure just from being a resident of Latimer County, like I had been for years and years and years until recent years. Even since you've no longer been a resident of Latimer County, I was a resident.
Right.
And, I know he's been involved in law enforcement for, it seems like, from day one of my existence in Latimer County. I mean, he's kind of synonymous with it. So, definitely I feel like he's a pretty easy to endorse as far as, he's going to know the law. He's been doing it. It's not like he's just, kind of waltzing into this, wanting to try to do something. Like I said, to get a check or something like that. I mean, this guy's been doing it.
So. Well, and I wouldn't endorse anybody, even some people on my own team. I don't think if they ran for sheriff, I don't think I would endorse them, because there's a difference between your fellow law enforcement officers, or your teammates on SWAT team or whatever. There's a difference between that and a guy running for sheriff. Yeah, they make a great cop, or they make, they're good at this part or whatever. I mean, it's just like with anything, but him being sheriff, he's going to do an excellent job. Yeah. And so I'm just saying, just because they're my friend, I'm not going to endorse them. Just because they're my friend in law enforcement, I wouldn't, publicly say they're going to do a great job. Yeah. Not to anyone,
Yeah.
But with Adam, definitely. He ran for police chief, and he would have made a great police chief. He's a great cop, and we've went too far into it. Here we are still talking about it.
Well, okay.
But I just want everybody to know that he's running, and I'm excited for him. And I'm excited for Latimer County because it's looking up. It's looking up, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I know I don't live in Latimer County, but it's still
from there.
Yeah, it's still very special to me.
Yeah. Well, okay, then what, you want to do some shout outs here?
Yeah,
you
go
want
ahead.
to do your
I did my shout out already.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll do my shout out. There's a really not so well known podcast out there. Gonna bring some attention to. Dude's smart. Pretty neat content. If you want to look him up, it might be a little bit hard to find, but the Joe Rogan podcast is out there to listen to.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right. That's a good one.
If you hadn't heard of it, you can check it out. I mean, he's got some interesting people on there, so I know everybody in the free world heard of it. But
we edged him out in ratings again this week, so I was happy to see that.
Yeah, he's working on it. You got to give him some time.
Yeah, in my household, we edged him out in the ratings.
Yeah. I think there's more people in my household that listen
to Joe Rogan
to ours than.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Good.
So, out of obligation more than anything. You know, kind of helps their financial situation if they listen to my podcast. So.
I think soon we're gonna start working on season 2. Hopefully.
How do you draw the line between season 1 and season 2?
I don't know. Why'd you ask me that on the live podcast? Well, we're going to change things up, hopefully.
I got a couple of ideas, yeah.
Get some new lighting. I know I've said this from day one, but we need better lighting. We need better, video. And just maybe a big table or something behind, and a new setting.
Okay.
New backdrop.
I'll go for that.
I don't dislike this, but...
Well, everybody's got to start somewhere, so
yeah.
This is good. Now, it's going to be
new soundboard.
Yeah, Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. Let's say goodbye to this thing because it's shot its wad. So,
So was that really your shout out? Joe Rogan podcast?
yes. Well,
Okay.
Theo Vaughn. Check out Theo
Dude,
Vaughn's
nothing's
podcast.
better than Theo Vaughn. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nobody
His
is funnier
called
than that dude.
This past weekend. I
You think
is
he'll
what
be
it's
on?
called.
Think we'll have him on?
Theo Vaughn?
Yeah, at some point.
Dude, I've seriously, I don't want to tell some things that I've been working on. But
Okay.
on here, I'd rather surprise, and that kind of thing. But
Okay. I'm excited.
nothing's. I mean,
No,
nothing
no. Say
concrete.
nothing
It's
else.
not like I've been talking to him on the phone.
I love it.
But
love Blackline Insurance Group. It's a company that I own. It's my baby, my business. And I've been lately really studying and training for Medicare supplements, some prescription drug plans, dental, vision, hearing plans, a lot of the life and health side. I'm real well versed, I guess you would say, in property and casualty. Your commercial, your business, your homes, your auto, your rental insurance, stuff like that. And so I've been really hitting it last month, and that's kind of gotten to the podcast way a little bit. I mean, I just now put up Flip's
from
podcast.
last week.
Yes, because I've just been trying to, get going, get contracted and all that with all these different companies and just working on learning it, So, but I'll be ready next day or two, I think I'll be ready to go. So if you are out there turning 65 or you already have a MedSup plan, I would love to help you out with anything that you may need.
I'm
Any
getting
kind of
close.
dental, vision, hearing plans or hospital plans, things such as that.
I'm almost there. I'm getting close. Well, shout out to my job search because I'm looking around for another job.
Get you selling Medicare supplements with me, man.
Well, I mean, I'm down.
At some point, yeah. It's great. It's going to be great.
Until we get to where I can do the podcast full time and it
Wouldn't that be awesome?
pays my bills.
We could do that and podcast every day. Just
Dude.
set aside 30 days or 30 minutes a day to do a podcast. Working with each other would be great, man.
Be
It'd be
easy.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make
These
some
are
money.
easy. I wish it was as easy to listen to as it is for us to do.
Because we've been recording for a solid 4 hours and 21 minutes right now.
Oh, God. Okay.
A lot of that's going to be cut out. Blackline Insurance Group, blacklineinsurancegroup.com. Guys, thanks for the support
Definitely.
for the podcast. I Don't Drink Coffee podcast.
Have we said that at all in this episode?
No, not in
The
this.
name of the podcast?
Yeah.
Did you at the beginning?
No, I don't remember if I
I
did
don't
or
think
not.
you did.
Dang it.
I don't think we said
Well, this is the I Don't Drink Coffee podcast. It's episode 12, and we greatly appreciate the support. For real, though.
Are you sure this is
I know I've
13?
said that a million times. Every time I say the same thing. We greatly appreciate the support. For real, though. But I am not kidding.
I'm not kidding either. But in this 13,
Every time you share it, 13. Every time you share it, I'll cut that out. Guys, we appreciate when you share the episodes, when you comment on the episodes, when you watch them on YouTube. Any kind of engagement helps. We kind of work on referrals here. This is kind of how we get ourselves out there is by you sharing everything that we put out.
yeah.
So-
Yeah, man. I think I'm fixing to start working on some merch. Well, I know we kicked it around.
Yeah, and you sent me a couple of things.
Yeah, but those were just joking. I wasn't serious.
I thought it was kind of cool, though.
Well, we've come up with a couple of different things, just some odds and ends stuff. We're going to get into it a little bit more,
Okay,
though. And
cool.
I want to talk to, some of the people that are, I want to find out where they get those made. And I may talk to, because I like those. I've got one of those hats, too, and it's comfortable.
Yeah, it
It'd be
is.
cool to have our stuff on a hat I wouldn't mind wearing.
Right.
That's comfortable. You know, looks good and all that.
I don't want. First of all, I don't want cotton shirts. I don't want
Right.
shirts that are going to shrink. I want some good, thin, athletic type shirts.
They show my nips, but okay.
Oh God.
I'm kidding.
Well,
I don't care.
put some
I don't give a
pasties on there.
damn about that.
I know you don't.
Pasties can't stop these nips. Okay, I'll just push them off.
But I know we haven't really talked about that either. But I want the merch to be top notch.
Yeah, it's for some reason, a real big sticking point with me, man.
Me too.
Definitely it's not going to be some some cheap crap.
Right.
I would really like to, you know, if we're going to do it decent.
We definitely got to get some coffee cups, coffee mugs.
We may have to, dude, if
A little at a time.
we may have to charge to try to recoup some of this from what I've been.
Well, we're not going to give it away.
We might.
For real?
Yeah. If people do some commenting and
Maybe-
some sharing and some things like that.
Maybe we give one shirt away.
Yeah.
No one's even posted any videos.
We're going to do some
I'm going to delete all that
contests.
stuff. I think I'm going to start over our page
Well,
because I posted a lot of goofy stuff on there, and I think people,
on the Facebook page?
yes,
I haven't even looked at it, dude. I have not even looked at it.
people are not engaging on my goofy stuff. Makes me feel stupid.
Well, we're going to have to turn it up a little bit.
Yeah, we should. We got to get some merch, like you said, shirts and hats and coffee cups.
Once I change my job and it's not as involving as my job has been here
Yeah, it'll
lately,
all work out.
that's going to give me a lot more time to do a little more spreading the word and that kind of thing.
Yeah, we're slowly but surely getting better, and
I was doing real good about
learning.
putting videos and stuff out about it for a little while, and I've gotten so freaking busy the last
that's what
few
I'm
weeks.
saying, man. With learning this Medicare subs and
I know
all these other kind of plans, life and health plans, it's taking up a lot of my time.
we've went dark on media.
A little bit.
It's unfortunate, man. We shouldn't do that.
Well, we're not going
This
to.
ain't falling, dude. We ain't done.
No.
We ain't
No.
even really gotten good and started.
No, we haven't. We haven't. But
So,
anyways, all right.
all right, let's get the hell out of here. Have a great day, please.
I don't drink coffee.